You're on, sir.
Ring, ring, ring. It's only just begun, my friends, and welcome back to Krown's magical dancing cave!
Well. Hey, can you turn on the light, actually? Make yourself useful in this goddamn morning. Let's get it on, baby! Welcome back to Krown's Crypto Cave. Sorry, I love my girlfriend. She's beautiful. She's amazing. And I'm just giving her a little bit of shit right now. It's really bright. Holy shit. Can you turn it down just a little bit, actually? On the right note. Okay, don't touch it, please. Don't touch it. Anyways, welcome back to Krown's Crypto Cave. It is a lovely, what is it, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? No, other one, other knob. Jesus Christ. Yes, there we go. Okay, that's beautiful. Perfect. All right, yes, there we go. Leave it, please. Awesome. Thank you very much. Anyways, with that said, oh, dear Lord, man, I'm all over the place this morning. I apologize about that. I'd like to welcome you back to Krown's Crypto Cave. I'd like to wish you the best and the happiest. And there we go. That's my little spiel for the early morning hours. And now we got some very important things to be getting on into in the Krown Chain application, which we found at app.cringy.net. And it is, by the way, 100% free, and it is in the description in the links below. Anyways, with that said, I think I dyslexia that one out. We do see a few new things on the top end dashboard right here. Bitcoin dominance now finally starting to head up. And of course, fear and greed index has ticked down to the lowest level that we have seen in about a month now, actually, at a 47 read after spending a significant amount of time in the 70 to 80-ish region for that. I think about 2 to 3 weeks now. So a little bit of a pullback in the old fear and greed index as we do distribute it down. But more importantly, we should go over into the market data tab right on over here. But before that, I do want to check out the top 10 winner list and the top 10 loser list. Actually, we did lose the losers list. I guess it's not there anymore, but we do see some humongous gains on some coins that I am completely unfamiliar with, of which I believe we saw several of them yesterday, actually. IOTX, Mina, Near Protocol, Algorand, Elrond, Phantom, Hedera, Herp Crash, Solana actually back on the list again, and FTX token, and even Shiba. What the fuck? Anyways, with that said, some big winners over the last 24 hours, which is of particular interest to me, just because we do see this market is somewhat bifurcated right here. Anyways, into the market data tab we go. We have some very, very interesting things going on right here, and this is making the case that I put out yesterday on the long-term analysis video that, or at least it's kind of strengthening that case a little bit more. We do see that the global funding rate is actually negative right now. So across the board, we do see negative rates. That means that you are paying to hodl your shorts right now. And to be fair, shorts, do have a good setup in their face. Bitcoin did close a massive girthy, of course, bearish engulfing dildo just a couple days ago, and well, after taking out the prior lows, it is time to be on lower high wash, to be fair. Anyways, with that said, we do see that global leverage ratio is taking an absolute dumpola right here. And again, this was one of the few things that was actually really staring me in the eye a couple days ago, saying, hey, it's actually quite hot right now, as we are at the same levels that we saw before the November correction in 2020, and of course the major massive dump that we saw from mid-April, about 50 to 60% down from $65,000 all the way down to that $30,000 region that we saw just a few months ago right there. Anyway, same sort of territory right on over here, and we have reset the leverage ratio just a fair bit. Of course, it can come down a lot more. In fact, that would probably be a little bit more healthy for the market, but you can see over here on the global open interest rate that it has taken a humongous dump to the same levels that we have seen basically back in mid-August when Bitcoin was at what price? Pretty much exactly where we're at right. Actually, no, not exactly where we're at right now. A little bit lower than where we're at right now. That was about $43,000. Now Bitcoin at around $45,000 to $46,000. So a little bit higher than that, but overall you can see that that is kind of running the market right now. And we do see that the exchange's reserves ratio over here is of interest as well, as we do maintain the overall downtrend. So people are using this theoretically to accumulate more Bitcoin. So that is why I do hold off, or at least I want to present a potential massive bear trap scenario, of which I uploaded about a 15 minute video long yesterday. And you can also check it out actually in the link in the description below as well. I did want to include it in there mostly because Elsa's showing her titties right now, and it's very distracting. If you're wondering why I'm having trouble with my words, there's some nipples, some hard nipples that are staring me in my own eyes. Anyways, with that said, also on the whale ratio, we have seen this maintain the overall downtrend as well, which does theoretically suggest that there is less selling pressure to go around from bigger accounts, of course. And hash rate over here is actually maintaining, that its current levels, which is an overall good thing as well. Anyways, with that in mind, I do think it is time to go back on over here. Yes, that's what I need to get to. I actually made a note of it today because I've been missing it so many times. We have a newsletter, a crypto newsletter actually over here. It's 100% free, by the way. You can go check it out. It's very much detailed. It's more focused towards the long term, and our man Roger is he's a fucking wizard with it. So I'm very, very happy to present that. And then of course we do have our sale going on as well. It's actually going to be going for just 18 more hours or 19 more hours or so. So that will be ending in the next in the next day, I suppose. And I would suggest that if you are interested in any one of those programs, any one of those indicators, please, before jumping into any one of them, please watch the fucking promo videos because they'll explain who they're for, who they're not for, so that you can make an educated decision for yourself and not just FOMO in. Please do not fucking FOMO in. It's more important for us to have a good fit for these sort of programs, and you can get a good insight into what to expect through those videos, and then make the decision for yourself as it should be done. Anyways, with that said, okay, shilling over. Let's get into it right now. Yes, I also want to point this out as well. Interactive Brokers over here, we actually did officially partner up with a legitimized broker, of which I imagine this is a welcomed site for Americans out there, because realistically your options for leverage are very minimal right now, and you can actually get onto a very reputable broker right here with Interactive Brokers. So I actually do feel very, very, very comfortable now finally formally actually suggesting an exchange if you are, or not an exchange, but a broker if you are a trader type. Now, of course, for most people this can be completely irrelevant, but that would be my choice, especially if you are American and you do want a more legitimized venue to trade Bitcoin on leverage. Of course, you're not going to get the 100x leverage, but if you're actually serious about this shit, you don't need 100x leverage. It's ridiculous. It's silly. And with that in mind, let's get into the price action charts right now, because this is the most important thing to be aware of at this exact moment right now, especially for Bitcoin, as we do get into it right now. So with that in mind, we do say that Bitcoin still maintains to hold above the 200 moving average right here. Now, technically speaking, of course, Bitcoin did enter into a bit of a downtrend right here, as we did see Bitcoin take out the last slew of lows from late August. I think it looks a lot more obvious on, of course, a line chart right here. So technically speaking, I am on lower high watch, as I did say earlier, but more importantly, I do believe that there is actually a strong case for a potential major bear trap within this region. Again, I did post a video on it yesterday. It's about 15 minutes long, goes into great detail with it, and there's actually a few more things that I actually forgot to include in that video, so maybe I'll do a new rendition over the weekend with more, I suppose, data, especially as it kind of comes in as well. But this would be your potential, trappy situation right here. How would you confirm a trap? Well, it's not happening anytime soon, to be fair. And when would it happen? Well, either a daily total closure above 49,500 right here, also the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement on a bearish trade, that is, or if you're using maybe like a 12-hour, you could get away with probably doing about 50,000 bucks. A closure above there would confirm a bear trap. A mega bear trap in my opinion, and we would very likely be seeing Bitcoin move up to the similar targets that I actually had earlier from the last couple of weeks here, back around about 58,000 bucks, if that were to happen. Now, with that said, that also does imply that as long as we do not see that happen, and as long as Bitcoin is showing any weakness below 49,500 especially, that is the next lower high, and that is typically what I look for, or that is what I am looking for here, to put it incredibly bluntly. If I do want to get into some, potentially long-term short positions. Now, I still do kind of struggle with looking at that from a fundamental perspective. Obviously, incorporating the hash ribbons indicator and all of those signals that we've been going over for the last couple of months here is still very much relevant and does make me strongly consider this. But until we actually do come back down and really take out those levels, I am a little bit more on the neutral side more than anything. Although technically speaking, again, yes, this is the beginning of potentially a major downtrend. And it wouldn't just be on the daily. It would actually be on the weekly as well. So if you are bearish, you do have a pretty damn good case as of right now. If Bitcoin were to close the weekly, especially below 45,000 bucks, this is certainly going to be your next lower high, and you already have your lower low over here, and that is a weekly downtrend, and that would be a confirmed weekly reversal. And a confirmed weekly reversal to any sides in Bitcoin's history has actually always been the macro direction. You can backtest this yourself, obviously, but I can assure you, after looking at it for a million goddamn times, that anytime that we have seen a weekly reversal, that has been essentially your macro move. I'll give you the last example for this was, it's not necessarily the last example, but the last example off of a parabolic blow off top was way back on over here in December 2017. Actually, there was one more in 2019 as well, but we'll just discount that for the time being. But you can see that right here. We had our high, we had our low, we had our lower high, and then obviously taking out that prior lower low. Well, that was your continuation, and that is what I was looking for, personally speaking, in order to take my money out of the market at that point in time. And I suppose the next few years was what was history in that sense. And do we potentially have that set up over here? Yes. Do I have some great reservations of it? Yes, absolutely as well. So I do want to see these things confirmed first and foremost. And if you did put a gun to my head and said, Krown, pick a direction right now, I do suspect that what the fuck is going on with you right now, sir? Jesus Christ. Anyways, Anyways, I would be looking for a bounce off this level, regardless whether you're bullish or bearish to begin with. The question is, how high does this bounce get, and does it fail below 49,500? If that happens, then there is no talks of of a bear trap, obviously within that region, and that is at the point pretty much where I will again be very open about being pretty damn short. Anyways, with that said, some people have been asked about my testnet account, which is rather interesting. Which fair enough, I suppose people care, which is cool. Maybe not Scott Barney, but maybe there's others within this world, and actually still. Operating pretty damn well here. This is the beauty of options. I did lose about 1.5 Bitcoin P&L over the last 48 hours. Still operating about a 26 or just under 26 Bitcoin right here. I started with about 10 or 15. I actually need to go and check exactly what that started with. But this is the beauty of options. I mean, and actually they're all turning green right now as well, which is great over here. Actually, you can't see it with my face in the way. Sorry, let me get rid of my fucking rat face right now. There you go. If you can actually understand this, which actually I imagine a lot of people can, but still holding the $33,000 long routing over here. I won't change that around until we get the confirmed weekly reversal, actually. For the other ones, for the options positions, actually very, very easy to manage, as this is all just mostly just spreads and strangles all the way around from varying degrees, of which it's getting so complicated now that I can't even go over it off the top of my head. But looking pretty damn good right there still. And I do have risk below. I should say that I do have risk below, I believe, $35,000. That's where things do start to look bad for this account, but that is plenty of time to react anyways, and all good in the hood over there. All right, cool. Anyways, or maybe not. Who knows? Who knows what could possibly happen over here? And I forgot to turn on my fucking lights over here as well. Jesus Christ, man. Titties have absolutely distracted me from my life's purpose right now. I hate titties. They're the worst. Anyways, looking at lower term time frame momentum oscillators, do we see anything of particular interest over here? Yes, indeed, we do. We do see actually my experimental indicators actually freshly printing off a decent long signal, I suppose, as of not this current dildo, but the one prior to that. And then more importantly, or at least more better studied in my experience, would be the 4-hour Stokes routing over here as well. Of which not only would we be hitting this trend line right here, right around the edge of the bearish control zone, but also this will turn back up with any sort of closure above 46,250. This is on CME. That's actually going to be confirmed in the next 47 minutes and 56 seconds. So we very likely will see this one on stream if it actually does happen, which would, again, kind of strengthen the case that, again, regardless whether you're bullish or bearish, I would look for a bounce up here. The question is, how high does that bounce get? Short term, certainly wouldn't mind a move towards like 48 to 48,100 or so. And then I'll be looking between there and $49,000. That'd probably be the bearish area. The bearish scenario. If I am going to be on lower high watch, I'd probably expect it to happen right around there. Technically speaking, again, yes, it can happen about 49.50 as well. But above, especially above the 618, I am just not. I just don't think it's I don't think it's a topic of conversation over there. At least in my experience, that is typically too far away, and a good signal that it actually is a trap situation. Again, a lot of space to go here, but and it will be a long day. But as long as Bitcoin does essentially hold around this $46,000 pivot, you know what, that scenario does stay alive. Anyways, with that said, let me actually just move that back around over here. Let's go check out momentum oscillators for what it's worth right here, and let's see what we got going on the daily. Daily BBWP continuing to expand, and this is again coming alongside of taking out the last prior lows, so this would be a downside angle first and foremost, and we do see that daily Jewel is actually giving a bit of a short signal here as well. In fact, on top of that, we do see daily RSI not really giving us too much. I would argue I'd certainly argue that bearish divergence already played out. And at this point in time, is there anything else to be aware of on spot price action? Not necessarily. I would be looking at CME instead and seeing if there's anything different over here. And here's what also really trips me up as well. Regardless of the last $10,000 move that we did see just a couple days ago, we do see that BBWP is not gone for an expansive phase on CME specifically. And I look at that as very, 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 very interesting, because you would have expected that after a fucking $10,000 move, we would be looking at something like that. But that also puts into perspective kind of where we're at in the grand scheme of things. And it's very interesting because yesterday I got, a fair bit amount of shit for basically saying that September months are typically not dumpy. That's actually not what I've said. What I've said is that September is not necessarily dumpy or pumpy. If we go through a historical analysis of it, it's usually most often unchanged. And other than that, as far as dumps and pumps goes, I think it was split between like 25 and 25%. And as you can see right here, we're pretty much exactly where we started off the month. I mean, this is a doji dildo for what it's worth right now. And I wouldn't necessarily call that like a fucking dump, especially when you put in consideration that Bitcoin, first and foremost, at the beginning of September, rallied up about $7,000 from 46 to 53. I wouldn't necessarily call that the same thing, to be fair. So we can also go through this very, very quickly here. and look at it, which is maybe a little bit interesting, but we can just pick out a few Septembers, right? Where's in a September over here? Well, this one almost closed unchanged as well. It did have a nice dump-ola during that, but again, I mean, at the end of the month, didn't really register to be fair. This one over here, a little bit of a dump-ola, yes, indeed. Do we have one over here? And sorry, that is, I would say that's 1 out of 2 in this at this point. Do we have a dump-ola right here? No, this month closed green as a doji dildo as well. Actually, yeah, pretty much a bodyless dildo, I'd say. So that would be 1 out of 1 out of 4 now. And then what do we have over here? Where's our next September? We got a September right on over here. This one certainly did play out. This one was certainly a mega dump. Actually, I believe about 20% down on that day, or sorry, on that month. No, 30% down. Pretty damn bad on that one. That one would definitely fit the bill. And then what do we see over here? September, again, another green month, but is it really green? No, it's fucking unchanged is what it is. And if you go back 1 month before, or sorry, 1 year before that, where's our next September dildo? Right here. Again, another green one. This one up actually a significant amount. In fact, this one looking like about a 40% move. Wouldn't necessarily call that a dump-ola right there. And then what else do we have over that? Or sorry, before that, I believe we have this one in 2011. Where is it? This one was a dump-ola as well. So realistically, only 3 of them were actually like legitimate dumps that actually held and did have continuation moves over time. All the other ones were either unchanged or in some cases even green. So in this case right here, this is unchanged as far as I care for right now. It doesn't necessarily look like the best dildo of all time, but to be fair, I mean that doesn't necessarily fit the bill in my opinion. And again, everyone's free to make up their own mind about something like that, but it's just interesting to see. It's very interesting to see a response when realistically like things are pretty much unchanged from the beginning of the month. So if you are looking at long term, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily make any major calls on that just yet. I think it'd be much too soon and much too immature. Anyways, as we do get into it, I do want to check out the 12-hour right here. I haven't checked out this time frame actually in the last couple of days. And yes, this one would certainly be on the more bearish side as well. But again, I sincerely would not mind a short-term move up to about 47.5 or so, and then well, that'd be kind of like the first area that I have a little bit of reservation for. Personally speaking, I do think that Bitcoin probably does rally up to 48.5 at the very least before it potentially does put in a lower high. To be fair. Now, with that said, can we come up with some lower term time frame ranges right here, as Bitcoin has been ranging essentially between about 45 and 46.5 thousand bucks for the last couple of days here since we got in this range? Yes, indeed, we can, and this is pretty much the exact same areas that we've been into, as you can imagine. And 4-hour BBWP has been getting this really, really well right here, as you can see. Did redline all the way up to 100 percentile, of course, on the dump and for the half day after that. Now, kind of cooling off. And whenever I see something like that after a bit of a trending move, I look for at the very least sideways consolidation. That's exactly what we're getting right now, and then very likely, a bounce into, if in this case, very likely a lower high if you are looking at it from a trend perspective. So it is certainly in the in the books in that regard as well. And by the way, the 4-hour jewel is actually giving off a little bit of a short-term long signal as well. Now, with that said, it is not supported by the DMI in this case, which is usually not the best sign, but at the very least, probably a little bit of short-term try to the upside. Now, with that said, where would I be looking for if we do get one more wick to the downside? I think very simply put, anywhere around 45,000 bucks, the same sort of downside wick territory that we spoke about yesterday is where I'd be looking towards, and I would be looking, potentially for that, potentially again today, although it looks like we already kind of did wick off the bottom side of that blue box territory. That would be about 45,500 or so. Again, not too problematic as far as the daily goes. It is all about closures right here, especially when looking at potentially a major move in the making. But personally speaking, and maybe I'm talking my book right now, I would like to see a move back up somewhere around about 48.5 to 49,000 bucks, and that's really where I'd like to actually short if I am going to short and see any sort of major weakness right there. So what would weakness look like is a question that I imagine a lot of people are going to be asking. Well, what would weakness look like? Well, if you're waiting for the daily, it's probably going to be a little bit too late. In this case, I do think that you could use a 4-hour or a 6-hour, and what I expect to see is I'd expect to see something resembling hidden bearish divergence around that price point. And if I see something like that, and especially a stop and reverse point, essentially confirming a local high, maybe not on a 4, but on a 6-hour, I do think would be appropriate, then I probably will front run that decision onto the daily and look for it to spill on over. Again, it's going to take some time, I do imagine, but for right now, I don't think that Bitcoin's actually going to break down and shatter the floor just from this exact area. But is that, well, what I was going to say on that? No, I don't think that would be appropriate to say. No, I think I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. I was actually about to say something that I probably would have disagreed with myself a little bit later. But on top of that, it should also be known that when we do go to the medium and higher term time frame momentum oscillators, that things are, well, not turning around anytime soon. So again, if you are looking for a bear trap, it's not happening anytime. It's not going to be confirmed anytime soon. And if you are looking for essentially, or if you are looking for the bearish case to take over, then at that point, you know, I'd probably be looking for any sort of quick move up there, as very enlightening as to the overall market's direction. Anyways, you can see right here, 12-hour not flipping up as long as we are below 52,300. Daily is going to be a little bit lower than that, actually 49.5, which is rather interesting because that would be my daily pivot actually in this case, and that is coming down rather aggressively on CME. I'm curious if it's the same on spot price action. No, it's actually about $1,000 higher on spot price action, but you know my rules with that. I do favor CME over spot price action, but interesting to see the kind of split there nonetheless. Anyways, with that said, I think it's time that we could get into the price action charts relatively soon. Let me put on the alerts right on over here. Let me see how long we've been in this. Yeah, okay, we've already been in here for about 30 minutes, so I think it would be a good time for something like that. I'm gonna turn on the alerts. I'm gonna take a sippy sip. Oh, motherfucker, I forgot to fill up. God damn it. All right, Elsa. Yes, I have the best girlfriend ever. Oh my, is that a new sweatshirt? Oh, okay, well, looks nice. Anyways, watch your language, sir, says Renob Case Sid. All right, well, fair enough. Okay, sir, thank you for letting me know your opinion on such things. All right, cool. Let me turn this on over here, and let me pop up the comments over here. Let's see what we got going on. And let's see, Farhan or Zakari. Farzan O says XEC USD 4-hour daily, please. Okay, XEC USD. Can't say I've ever seen this one before, actually. Let's see what it looks like. It is completely new. This is an hourly, and it can barely populate itself. Maybe there's an exchange with more history on Huobi, perhaps. Actually, yes, very much so. I'm glad that I looked at this one over here, because the other one would certainly not look as impressive. For right now, I probably would be looking for a little bit of a short-term bounce back up to about 26,500 or so. That would be the next sort of short-term pivot that I'd be looking at right here. Any sort of a closure above about more like 26,800 in this case, sir. Don't fuck with me now. Then I would be looking for an extension back up around these wick highs in this last little breakdown level, somewhere in like the low $30,000 territory. Until that happens, though, this one is a bit range-bound, and I mean, it's still constructive, I do suppose, but let's see what it looks like on a daily. Daily's just consolidating. I wouldn't necessarily make any calls on this, although it certainly does look a little bit toppy right here, but a little bit too young of an asset to be calling anything for the long term. I mean, it's only been around since July, so not really, can't really do too much with that, unfortunately. Let's see. Did you even ask for any specific time frames? You did for the daily. I can't give you too much on the daily. If it does want to break down, though, I would be looking for a move somewhere around about 19,000 or so, 19,000 or so. Tenths of a fucking dollar or something like that, or hundredths of a dollar. I'm gonna take a sippy sip of this water, man. I am damn thirsty right now. Live Without says ready to shoot the bears. Perhaps yes, but again, I do think it's going to take some time if that is going to happen. Sean Kelly, what's up, man? Hey, Krown, I don't get notifications on your videos now. I have to manually search, so your numbers are down. That's why. Yeah, I don't know why that is, and you're not the only person to let me know that as well. So it's definitely not yeah, they hate me. It's definitely not like a localized problem. Probably I'll just have to reach out to like YouTube and ask them what's up, because I know that can be a little bit annoying. Anyways, King Cosmic says, hello, sir. I hope life is well. Oh, I know it is indeed, but let's go check out exactly what you want to look at, sir. Let's see what we got going on over here. I see SPY on the list breaking down a bit. I would be looking for this one to make another stab somewhere down around about 44.80 to 44.85 or so. Hourly, trending right there. Lower lows and lower highs the whole way through. Hidden bearish divergence on the last high right there. Probably would be looking for a short-term bounce off this current level, to be fair. Let's see. I must have made this chart on like a 4-hour. Yes, I did. But it looks like it is about to healthy break down below. And so I would be looking for perhaps an extension of this move. Again, medium-term to about 44.80. And then I'd be looking for a bounce there, and then very likely come back to it tomorrow. We did actually confirm, we did not confirm yesterday, but 2 days prior, we did confirm bearish divergence off that last high. So my usual target for that is going to be right around the 20-month moving average on that time frame, and that is the 44.80 or so level that you see right there. Would be looking for a bounce there. After that, do things look toppy coming into Friday closure? Potentially, yes. I mean, if this thing closes below last week's low, that would be looking like well, we're getting ready for at least a medium-term correction, probably down a little bit further, down to about 44.30 or so. I'm curious to see if NASDAQ looks the same. Does NASDAQ have the same sort of potential issues in place right here? Resting on the 10 simple on the daily. Okay, looking at the hourly right here, I'd probably be looking for a short-term bounce right here. This one a little bit range-bound as well. Problems obviously below about 15,400, and bear trappy confirmed back above 15.6 or so. But it is quite telling to see that both Dow Jones and SPY are very obviously bearish right now, at least for the short term. Again, with bounces in mind relatively soon for this one as well, especially when you get down to around those 19th of August wick lows. Anyways, going back onto Bitcoin over here and going back through the comments once again. Let me just pick it up. There we go. What's up, Jack? There he is. Ethereum, Bitcoin, short and medium term. Yeah, let's do this one over here. Should actually record a video on Ethereum as well, as I haven't done that in a little bit of time. Short-term timeframes looking good on a short-term bottom right here. Nice little ascending triangle right around the 200 simple on the hourly, which I don't know if that's short enough for you, but fair enough. I would be looking for this one again if it does get confirmed with any sort of an hourly delta closure above basically 7.6 million satoshis. Then I would be looking for a move probably right around that last breakdown region running over here. Short term, this is. Jesus Christ, I did not mean to do that. Wrong one. Where's my ray? There we go. Found my ray. Nice one. All right, sweet. And let's just, I just want to double check on the measure move if it's actually going to align with that. Oh, and what do you know? That beautiful geometry right there. And what do you know over here on the hourly? A little bit of hidden bullish divergence potentially present. And this little consolidation coming in on declining volatility as well. So I do look at that as more or less healthy first and foremost. And this would fail. Obviously, you need an invalidation point on the other side. That would fail below about 7.5 million satoshis. Looking at a daily, really good bounce back right there. Again, I'm long-term bullish on this one. Another reason why I inherently am going to really struggle to, it's not that I really struggle, but I do struggle in some ways, definitely. But what I'm trying to say is that I look at this as kind of further strengthening that potential bear trappy case, because we would not expect the Ethereum Bitcoin pairing to be bullish in that sense. We'd expect it to be in free fall as you do on typical market tops, like you see over here, and like you see over here as well. And with that said, the weekly is very obviously not bearish. If you look at a 4 hour, could we see a little bit of a pullback? Wait, why does that look so different than an hourly? I'd be rolling with the hourly in this case right here. But yes, if you do lose 7.5 million satoshis, I probably would be looking for another move back down around the prior lows, like 7.3.5 million satoshis or so. I don't necessarily think that that's what's going to happen. This one actually looks decent right here. 4 hour RSI and 4 hour Joule kind of tells the story. And this is actually, well, expanding volatility on what would be, well, trend continuation in this case. So looking okay there as well. So yeah, I actually kind of like it all the way around. Definitely on the higher term time frame though. Still, to me, that was a major opportunity right there. Cool. Martin Hunt, what's up, man? Good morning, sir. Good morning to you as well. Can we get an algo update on the 4 hour and daily? Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Just because this one didn't just like rally yesterday, but this one made new all-time highs, like significantly new all-time highs, which is just astonishing to see, especially for something that actually has the history over a long period of time. And I mean, that is a fucking powerful chart. Anyways, yeah, I would actually like to record this one. Here we have ALGO round, symbol ALGO versus the dollar, being requested from Mr. Martin Hunt. And we're going to do a general overview on this one. This is rather interesting. This one obviously rallied up not just to prior highs, but new all-time highs in the last 24 hours. And this is amongst, the rest of the market mostly ranging or playing out some pretty damn nasty downside moves. So with that said, we do see obviously several things on the weekly. Weekly RSI back in the bullish control zone, also rallying off the exponential on that as well, looking good. Obviously making new all-time highs is, never a bad thing. Supported by a Joule signal over here, which still looks rather strong, and volatility continues to tick up on the weekly. A little bit too, young of an asset right there to give too much credence to the weekly. Daily, however, would be saying that we probably do see a pullback relatively soon. However, do I think that this gets all the way up to 100 percentile, maybe stays there for like a day or two, or maybe even 3? Probably yes. So I suspect that this one probably does grind up around the current all-time highs, maybe even makes new all-time highs. In fact, if we do go down to a 4 hour right here, I'd feel quite confident in saying that this one will make new all-time highs before the next sort of pullback. And then I'd be looking for BBWP to kind of be the governor of that. And I suppose I've already done a bit of a extension right here. Let me just make sure that this is applicable for this time frame, as we are focusing now directly on the daily. And you can see that we're at the 1.272 right now. And to be fair, I usually don't see tops around that region. And in fact, I don't really see tops around either of these regions, but I do typically see consolidations around these regions. So do I think that this thing could run to like 240 first and then spend some time consolidating between there and about $2 even? Probably yes. And I suspect that it probably does make a run up towards that region first before the next sort of short-term, medium-term pullback. But like I said, long-term, I usually don't see tops around those regions. Well, I don't want to say where I typically do see tops because that's just way far away. But what I can say over here is that this looks really fucking good. This is obviously reaccumulation. Long term, this is a nice, healthy uptrend. And we do see major volume on that last major girthy green dildo closure to new all-time highs. So with that in mind, long term, months down the road, could we be looking at a $5 to $7 target? Perhaps yes. Let's go check out momentum also over here. I definitely want to see them on the short-term timeframes as well. And then we'll come up with an invalidation point as always here too. Yeah, 4 hours still looks good. It looks like momentum remains the upside as long as above about 208, well, let's just say 209 or so. What about the hourly? I imagine this one probably gets things a little bit better. 207 would be the magical number for this one. So if those conditions do fail to get met, I probably would be looking for maybe a short-term pullback first here. Areas of interest would be back down to around to about 187 or so. But let's go back on over here to the 4 hour and show where does this trend actually come into a little bit of issues. And on the 4 hour, I mean, this is the problem when you go too fucking parabolic is that your risk or your invalidation point for something like this just much lower. In this case, it'd be about 169, a great number right there, but I wouldn't necessarily be calling any sort of like major macro reversals until at the very least it goes back down below there. And that is well, from our current price action, that would be about 24% down. Certainly not impossible to happen, but I would say it's a little bit far away right now. For right now, I think this one still looks more or less good. Do we see any sort of bearish divergence formulating on the 4 hour? No, we do not. Typically a good sign. So short-term downside moves, I'd imagine probably do get picked up and probably do create another slew of higher lows, and then I'll be looking for the daily to play out. Probably towards that first set of targets and then play at a consolidation, and then we'll come back to it in a more boring time perhaps. And hopefully that was helpful right there. There you go. Nice one. Okay, cool. What else do we have over here? Sylvan. What's up, Sylvan Nistor? Hey, Krown, do you want to look at EGLD any time frame you want? Okay. All right. I don't know how useful this is going to be, but I'll do my best, man. Let's see. What the fuck? Another... It's happening again. It's happening again. Now, this one's not making new all-time highs, obviously, here, but this is actually a pretty damn good chart. Hidden bullish divergence on that last, on that last local low. So it did play down with the rest of the market just a couple days ago on the 7th of September, but this one already making and popping back above prior highs. This is already confirming your bear trap. Obviously, I mean, we got that confirmation yesterday back above about 170. If we looked at this one, I expect that we probably did not. Otherwise, I would have probably remembered this one a little bit better. But would not be surprised to see this one make another stab short term back around 210 or so. More medium term, I'd be looking for a move back around your prior highs. This is the exact same setup that we just saw on that algo round thing that we just looked at, where essentially you had that hidden bullish divergence come off the lows, volatility starting to rise back above 50 percentile. And this one's continuing above its dump highs. I mean, that's a pretty fucking strong signature. So I would actually be looking at this one very likely to continue onwards and forwards. 4 hour RSI is completely fine, completely healthy. No bearish divergence even possible right here. Yes, BBWP is on the absolute ceiling, but I'd really be looking for probably a 12 hour or a daily to call the totality of this move. And the 12 hours very conclusive right here. Back above 50 percentile, rising moving average has also got a positive slope. Hidden bullish divergence right there. Continuation of trend. I mean, that's just another higher low. So bullish, man. Very interesting to see. Very fucking interesting to see. And I imagine, dare I see it, that this does bode well for Bitcoin. Wes Proctor says, "Algo kickback. You rock." Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate that. Thank you. I massively appreciate that. That's very kind of you. No one important says, "Hey, good sir." What's up, good sir? Good update on SRM USD. Yeah, let's check out this one. Another like Solana SAM token, whatever the fuck it is. In fact, we probably should check out Solana today because I already know that one made new all-time highs. I think we hit our 220 target. Should be pretty damn good. And again, another like this is so fucking strange. This is so fucking strange right here. Again, another like very, very interesting and healthy chart, all things considered. I'm going to record this one because I do know that there is a little bit of interest in Serum. Here we have Serum, symbol SRM, versus the DAR being requested by Mr. No one important, actually. But he is very important today, especially because we are looking at, again, another interesting chart that has, of course, played on the downside move alongside Bitcoin on the 7th of September right here, but has already reclaimed the highs and is approaching new highs on this rally as well already. And this is, as far as the 12-hour goes, and I imagine a daily here too, just another higher low before general continuation. In fact, I'd be looking for this one at the very least to make a short-term stab somewhere around about $11 or so, and then probably continue on medium term to about $12.85, and then play a bit of a consolidation between those two price points. And barring some of the other things that we have seen within this market, many things have actually been making new all-time highs with that current setup. This is also coming on an extremely low volatility read on the daily. Let's see what the 12 hours looking like. Yeah, 12 hours already heading up, and again, higher lows, momentum, and trend in this case. I would be looking for continuation here. This looks really fucking good, actually. Going down to a short-term time frame like a 4 hour, is there anything to be aware of, or where would my invalidation point for something like this be? This one's actually pretty damn simple right here. Anywhere below about $9 is where I'd invalidate this whole idea, and I would be looking for this one to reverse. And this is all, I guess, another bull trap, but probably not. I don't think that's what's happening right here. I do think this one is going to continue on. This is looking pretty damn good. Let's go check it out on momentum oscillators as well. See what we got going on freshly over here. Serum on, well, that's an hourly, but hourly looking good to be fair. 4 hour is actually looking very, very good right here. Just rejected the bearish control zone, bouncing back up, and will remain with upside posturing as long as above 7.6, which is a healthy almost $3 below where we're currently trading. It's rather interesting. 12 hour is actually freshly popping up as well, rejecting even getting out of the neutral zone right there towards the bearish control zone. 8.63 is going to be the magical number on this one, and daily is actually holding within the bullish control zone. 946 is the magical number right there. I'd feel very, very comfortable and confident saying that this one does move higher from this current region. Short term $11, more medium term just under $13. Probably look for a consolidation there, and then maybe long term continuation. This is good. It's very, very good setup. Be aware of the invalidation point, but not bad at all. In fact, quite literally the opposite of such things. And there you go. All right, cool. Matt C, what's up, man? Link USD 4 hour daily. Yeah, let's check this one out. I did do an early morning perusal of this one just to see, because Link is like always an interesting one. Definitely not the picture of health and fitness right here, however. Well, I wouldn't say that's not the picture of health and fitness, but it's certainly not as strong as some of the other coins that we have looked at today. But looking at this one right here, should we do a video on this one? Should we not do a video on this one? I should rechart this one for the daily specifically, and we can go over some pretty damn easy areas. Okay, cool. All right, so maybe we do record a video on this one. We got to keep the Link Marines in order here, as they've been good to this channel, and well, Link's been pretty damn good to them. All right, here we have Chainlink, symbol LINK, versus the DAR, being requested by Mr. Matt C, and we're going to do general overview of this one. And another chart that kind of sticks out. It's certainly par for the course as far as most things in this market go. Definitely played alongside Bitcoin. Definitely not as strong as some of the charts that we've looked at today. But I do look at this as rather interesting right here. This to me looks like a retest of the Golden Cross that was confirmed about a week ago now, actually on my birthday, on September 2nd, in fact. And with that said, we are ranging right now, obviously, and I would hold off on getting bearish on this one, especially as long as it's about $25. And this one is, technically speaking, operating on higher lows as long as it is above that same number. So what I would say is that this one, technically speaking, still does hold the uptrend, and we do see that volatility, while it did actually curtail a little bit over the last few days, which oddly enough was right alongside that major pullback. If that starts to turn back up again alongside any sort of a closure on a daily, specifically above about $30 and 3/4, so 30.75 or so, then I would be very, very confident in saying that this one is going to follow what we have seen a lot of the other strong coins do, reapproach the highs of this rally at about, in this case, about $38 or so, and then very likely make new highs on this rally towards the not $40,000 region, but $40 region or so. Maybe long-term $40,000. Who the fuck knows in this market? But overall, we would expect to see some sort of drives of hidden bullish divergence right here if this will actually confirm a potential higher low, and it does potentially actually have this. Let me see. Printed a 49.09 on that low right there, and the other low right here is actually 48.86. Ever so slight amount of diff right there potentially present, but again, this will not be confirmed until it actually does confirm a higher low. And in this case, I would not be confirming any sort of a low, especially on a 12-hour or daily. Yeah, we could use this on a 12-hour as well, below about $30 and 3/4. If it can start to close back above there, that'd look pretty damn good, and I would be looking for those continuation drives. But that obviously also does line up with the possibilities that if this thing does break back down below about $25, I would look for this one to really accelerate to the downside. And this one could have some potentially very, very nasty downside. Next sort of, medium-term target would be in the low 20s, somewhere between about $20 and $21. But looking good for right now. Again, on 4-hour time frame. At the very, at the very best, I do think that it ranges right here for a little bit of time. This one seems to play very, very well with Bitcoins, or very much alongside Bitcoin. So they're kind of doing the same thing right now. 4-hour BBWP on the ceiling, of course. And so that very likely aligns with some short-term sideways, and very likely one try at the very least to about 29.25 or so. Looking at momentum oscillators over here, I'm just curious if this thing is showing anything of particular interest as well. I imagine daily will probably turn back up around, no, it actually won't. 33.63 is going to be the magical number on that one. Maybe the 12-hour will be 30 3/4. Nope, wrong again. 34 3/4 actually on that one. 4-hour will be actually freshly crossing up on the next closure with any sort of a closure above 26.33. So I do expect, yes, this one very likely bounces first before anything else. Same thing on the hourly as well. 27.39 is the magical number right there. So very likely bounces first before anything else. I'd be looking at a target somewhere around about $29 or so. Come back to it after that. If it starts to get back above those critical levels, this isn't even a bear trap because this one did not, I mean, it wouldn't even fit the bill for a bear trap. It didn't even put in a lower low there. So in this case right here, well, just be continuation, fucking sloppy, but and probably not too helpful, but it would be continuation, technically speaking, by definition. Hopefully that was helpful, and there you go. Nice one, man. Let's see what else we got. Benjamin Walker, what's up, man? Hello, sir. Making tons of money on Sol. Fucking nice, man. Can afford his $5 super chat now. Yes, we've done it. We've done it. Sol 4-hour and daily, please. Yeah, man, we definitely need to record one on this one. Sam Tokens taking over the world. Mr. Ale giving me shit on the Discord for it too. But you know what, sir? You know what? It's taken in good faith because, well, this is barring Hex. This is the best chart in cryptocurrency land. I don't know which one I'd choose as the best chart. Technically more long term, I guess Hex would hold the bill for that one, but Solana just insane right there. Okay, so I do want to record one on this one. Here we have Solana, Sol versus the dollar, of course, being requested from Mr. Benjamin Walker, who can now afford it due to his Solanas, as well as the witches living in New York City as well, apparently. Anyways, with that said, you got to respect the witches, otherwise they will fucking hex you. And I'm not making a joke on that one. They certainly have on me. Yep, I've gotten Wingardium Leviosa all throughout my fucking eyes. Anyways, with that said, what do we see over here? Well, it looks like we actually did nearly hit our $220 target. Yeah, we did have it actually 218 is where I had it right there, 218 and a half or so. And we came about $2 shy evenly of that, coming out of the prior 2.272 base, which is, well, typically going to be a short-term consolidation and stop and reverse point. In this case right here, do we see that on the hourly? I mean, yeah, we've already seen a little bit of downside right there, but that is an hourly after all. I mean, the 4-hour just looks like continuation. This is quite literally continuation. 4-hour RSI tells the story on this one. Hidden bullish divergence yet again to new all-time highs on increasing and expanding volatility. 4-hour jewel once again with upside curvature. Dare I say this one probably has already played out the pullback. That is fucking insane. Now, I do need to come up with an invalidation point for this because this one's very extended. Like, make no mistake about it. This is fucking extended right here. But it's another good signal for the general market. Now, where would I start to say that this is going to be invalidated for further continuation to the upside? Below 170. Below 170 on a 4-hour. Now, going over here to a 12-hour, this is, again, obviously continuation. Hidden bullish evidence confirmed on that last local low. Volatility continues to expand right here. I wouldn't be surprised to see this one actually go on a bit of a tear over the next... am I going to fucking say this right now? Over the next couple of weeks, but... I mean, 265 to... This really is similar to Ethereum in 2017. 265 to 350, which is actually where Ethereum did kind of top out first before playing out like a 70% downside move. Just for what it's worth, you might want to be aware of that. Anyways, going over here to a daily, what do we see? Continuation yet again. You know, this thing is really, really fucking hot, but technically speaking, doesn't even have bearish evidence possible right now, unless if we do close, let's say the daily below $200. If you see a daily closure below $200, that'd be a pretty damn good sign that this one probably does reverse from here, and this is going to be a pullback first before a try higher. Daily BBWP approaching 100 percentile, but still not necessarily there. 96 percentile right here. I'd really look for it to get pretty much exactly to 100 percentile before I do start to call tops on this one. So 2 ways that I'd be looking for a bit of a short-term reversal. On the 4-hour, it's not very helpful actually. It's actually less helpful than the daily, but below 170, I would be calling that, looking for moves back down to like 130 to 140-ish region. Daily, with any sort of a closure today below about 190 or 195 would look pretty damn good for a bit of a pullback first before any sort of long-term continuation. However, if we go over to the weekly, I'm curious if this one looks any different. Nah, not a little bit too young to get too much of anything on this one. 3-day, very, very extended right here. Even the 3-day BBWP is hitting highs right there. So I really think that this one's very, very close here. But dare I say, this one probably does print maybe another new all-time high before the inevitable pullback. And then again, you know, on a pullback for this one, it's probably just going to be, well, probably just gonna be another higher low on like a medium or higher term time frame. Daily is trending above the topside trolling band for the 1, 2, 3, working on 4 days in a row now. ADR is not in an area that you want to see it in if you do want to remain generally bullish on this one right here. For the short term, you know, whenever we've hit, well, actually, no, I can't say that. Whenever we've hit an ADR like this, it has actually, in some cases, been a continuation. that is an indication of a very, very strong trend. But when we look at PMAR over here, I mean, that is, let's see, is this in corrective areas? Somewhat, yes. I mean, this was a correction right here. This was certainly a correction right here. So it is in corrective area, yes. But I would be unwilling to call a high on this one, or at least like a short-term high on this one, as long as it's trending above the topside Toronto band, and that is actually at $200 for today. So as long as it's above there, I am, I guess, looking towards those further upside targets. It sounds a little bit crazy, but I guess no one's made too much money betting against Sam coins in the last however long it's been around. Daily Stokes, again, that will actually turn down below $200. So not only would we lose the topside Toronto band, but we'd also see Daily Stokes turn down around. That'd probably be a good warning signal that this one will reverse from that price point and play back down, into the mid 100s. 12-hour. Same thing, 209. So it is suggesting, it either continues on from here or we will see the pullback exactly from this region. It's probably not too helpful of a statement. And 4-hour Stokes actually showing right around that 170 level or so. So, fucking extended chart, man. But when you are on these parabolic blow-off tops, which this one certainly is approaching, well, I found it's best to not guess where the high is before you actually see it. So I suppose I do cautiously still look for a little bit more upside in this case. I know it sounds crazy, and again, when this one reverses, it'll be like Bitcoin, where it'll just dump to fucking hell like you've never expected, and then probably spend some time, consolidating for a while. But for right now, still pretty damn good, and hopefully that was helpful for Solanas. BK, what's up, man? Sir, can you look at CVX? Is this what I think it is, or is this not what I think it is? Well, apparently it's not anything that I can look at. CVX, you're talking about convex token. Unfortunately, we can't bring it up versus the dollar. Let's see if we can bring it up versus the Dow token. I think that's a dollar derivative. Nope, that's not going to be helpful. Maybe we just look at it versus Ethereum. I know you didn't ask for this, but it looks like it's the only one that trading you can pull up. Obviously, reapproaching and taking out your prior June breakdown levels is not bearish. This is obviously reaccumulation right here, or I guess in this case, just regular accumulation. Big volume on the last up thrust. This is very, 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 very obviously going higher. Wouldn't be surprised to see this thing back somewhere around your early June highs, essentially. Maybe in the next couple weeks. Very, very good chart right there, actually. Very fucking good chart. But again, this is not versus the dollar. This is versus Ethereum, so might not be as relevant to you, but it's the best that I can do with what TradingView has right now. What's up, Franz? Good morning from Oregon. Nice one. You have some trouble spelling it, though. That's all good. Oregon and Hexagon. ALGO USD, we got that one a couple times, and I recorded that, so we'll upload it later. So I think we're just getting to this comment a little bit later. Hey, what's up, Spencer Smith? Zer, my long picks have paid up. Nice. Coinbase posted that they shall list XYO Coinbase pump targets. Oh dear lord. All right, XYO. Let's get back onto this one. It looks like it looks like that certainly will play off. That is not a chart. How did we get this one before? XYO versus what? Must have been on KuCoin or something. Can we bring it up versus like something that's stable, not fucking Ethereum or Bitcoin? I guess the best that we can do is probably Bitcoin in this case. Wow, powerful. And I believe, yes, we did have this one charted out before that. So we did hit this target over here. What do we say if that target gets hit out, taken out? I'd be looking for a move back around your March highs. This one can really roll from its current area. Short term though, I would be cognizant of this area right here. I would be looking for a short term pullback somewhat relatively soon at about 5,500 Satoshis. I don't think things stop there though. I do think long term it will reach up somewhere actually in the deep 7s to maybe even 8,000 Satoshi territory. This is pretty damn good. And you know how those Coinbase listing pumps go. So probably will be a bit of a sell the event type of thing, but until that time, maybe for like a day or two plus or minus the actual listing, probably do have some free run towards those regions. Hey, what's up, Justin Young? See you at the Grammys. I'm glad that you enjoyed that, sir. I'm glad that you enjoyed that indeed. What's up, Clean Bra? Oh, Mr. Clean Bra's back. Nice one, man. Dr. Krown, FTM 4-hour daily. Did we look at this one earlier? It was Serum? No, it was Serum. Yeah, we're gonna look at this one. Pull this one up. Phantom. Oh my, what the fuck? Hey, what the actual fuck? All right, we're recording this shit, but what the hell? Again, it's like I'm just very, very surprised to see a lot of these things just not just recovering their rallies, their dump bullets. Bless you. Jesus Christ. All right, I'll just stop talking and record it. Here we have Phantom, symbol FTM versus the dollar, being requested by Mr. Clean Bra, formerly Mr. Clean Bra, and Mr. Trend Bra as well. But now he's seen the light, and he's dropped the chest bra ways. Anyways, pumping harder than chest bras doing buys and tries. Thoughts on BTC dominance breaking 40%, all starting to run wild. Yeah, man. Well, First things first, let's get through Phantom over here. FTM is obviously looking fucking good. I mean, anything that's not just reapproaches prior optimized, but making new optimized is rather strong. But let's put this in the context of the current market. So this is being recorded on September 9th. And this is 2 days after September 7th, which Bitcoin saw about a $10,000 move to the downside. This one hasn't just reapproached prior optimized. It's pretty much making new optimized already on a closing basis, which is a really good sign, you might say. Obviously, based off the 414, does say that this consolidation is obviously very much mature, or not just mature, but is resolved, and would be looking for I'd be looking for a medium-term move somewhere around the 2-spot extension right here, which is 275 or so, and long-term, perhaps into the $4 region. Now, long-term, understand that that is perhaps, months away. Medium-term, more like, a week or two away. But in this case right here, this is looking obviously very, very good. Let's see what Momentum has to say about this one as well. And then we'll come up with invalidation points for where this one very likely does turn around. Now, daily RSI getting way the fuck up there, to be fair. But the problem with this is that we don't have anything resembling bearish divergence until we have a local high in place. And this is obviously not a local high. What I do like to look for in these sort of situations is BBWP, which I expect to get at least above 95 percentile, probably 100 percentile in this case. So this is a fucking mega move right here before the next sort of potential medium term or maybe even daily pullback, reverse probably into, well, in this case, higher lows. But looking at it right now, very, very good. I think it's probably got one more stab higher. Can it maybe go on one of those mega runs here? Maybe yes. Again, considering what Sam token fucking Solana's done and FTX and everything else. 4 hour looks like obvious continuation as well. This one actually is the more easy chart to be reading right now. Hidden bullish divergence come off that last low into new all-time highs. Yes, we will have bearish divergence at some point here, but we need to confirm a local high, which it is not just yet. 4 hour Jewel just got a nice signal a couple closures ago, so I look for that to play out a little bit, all supported by DMI in this case. And 4 hour BBWP, I mean, you can expect this one to stay high for a while here. I expect that this one probably does print some new highs before that. Now, of course, this is not relevant without an invalidation point to the other side. And where would I say that this one invalidates itself? Meaning that I'd be looking for a correction to the downside first before any sort of continuation to those more, what I would consider pretty incredible targets, to be honest with you. I'd be looking at this area right here. Sorry, I'm going to get rid of this one for the time being, but this area right here would be 150, or technically just below 150. Below there, I would start to call a greater pullback first before anything else, probably back down to about $1 or so. But before then, I am looking for general continuation here. I know it sounds fucking crazy. I imagine this one looks pretty damn good on my trending charts as well. Let's just go double check. Looks pretty fucking good, man. It looks pretty fucking good. As long as the daily is closing above the topside Toronto band, of which it has been for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, working on day number 7 right here. I look for a continuation of trend. Now, of course, the longer that it does this, theoretically, the less likely that it is to, continue to close above there. But obviously, you haven't been making too much money betting against that. Actually, and I got that wrong. It's really started 2 days prior to that, 9 days ago, actually. So working on day number 10, I believe. Looking still pretty damn good here, I suppose. But that condition needs to be met, which would be met with any sort of a daily closure today above 169. So if that continues to be met, I would still be looking for a general continuation first before any sort of a medium term or especially long term pullback in this case. Daily PMAR is getting somewhat around critical levels here, but it certainly has been higher in the past, like we saw right here on this high, like we saw right here on this high as well. So can definitely go for a little bit more ADRs. Astronomical right there, but that's not as problematic. That's actually kind of a good signal long term, to be fair, not necessarily short term. So with that said, hopefully that was helpful for FTM, and then we can also go look at Bitcoin dominance. So what's Bitcoin dominance doing right now? Let's go check it out. Taking a little bit of, we have our next lower high. That is actually fucking hilarious. So I would have hit my 43.5 target right there like a week ago. But that is a clean rejection, and are we heading lower immediately or not? Let's actually go over here to a weekly. That's continuation. I mean, if I showed you this chart right here, let's just get rid of everything. I don't trust indicators or anything other than trend on this. If I showed you this chart, would you be bullish or bearish on it? Pretty fucking good, man. Pretty fucking good. I think that was the high of the bounce. It's funny to see that happens literally in just like one day. This continuation, very fucking obviously. I guess it is a bit of an altcoin season going on right here. Powerful, very, very powerful, very fucking powerful. What's up, Mural Gandhi? What's up, Mr. Gandhi? Can you check out ARUSD Airweave on Huobi? Okay, I think we looked at this one once or twice before. Let's see what it's looking like right now on Huobi specifically. Looking pretty damn good on, again, another fucking shitcoin making new all-time highs. What the hell? You know what I'm saying on this one, man. Obviously, it's fucking good, but see what we got going on right here. Okay, very, very close to the 1.618 extension. I would be looking for a bit of consolidation within this region for some time, but do I think that things stop there? Oh, I don't have any. Oh, god damn it. I need to redo all my things over here. All right, let's plop them on. There we go. Just fit them all in there. Oh, I should get rid of the 3-spot extension because I don't think that one's too relevant. But, well, I do suppose a breakout above about 72.5 bucks, and I would be looking for 100 plus, I guess, at that point. Jesus Christ, man. This chart's actually very, very easy to read, however. I would be very, very confident in remaining bullish on this one as long as it maintains above what would be your next higher low, which is 49.5 bucks. Even as long as things above like 52 bucks, I think that this one looks really, really good for continuation. What do we have? Hidden bullish evidence, exactly what you expect to see on a situation like that. And we saw this correction coming on declining volatility as well. That is a really, really good signal. If you see this start to tick up alongside this one, essentially closing and continuing on all-time highs, be looking. I really would actually be looking for those $100 targets. Again, if it does take out the risk area right there, I'd be looking for a corrective move back down to about 34.5 to 35 bucks first. But for what it's worth, looks pretty damn good right there, man. This is incredibly interesting to see all of these things looking like genuinely good. Very, very strange. Blah 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 says, "Hi sir, what's up, man? Can you look at blah blah blah." Great name. Sounds like I'm being disrespectful, but no, man, it's just your name. Cardano USD 4-hour and daily, sure. All right, let's check it out. I got it on my list over here. Let's see how this one's holding up. 250 still. Did we record a video on this one or not? This one actually not holding its area as well as Bitcoin, but short-term timeframes do look bouncy here. Yeah, let's record a video on this one. Why the fuck not? Here we have Cardano versus the dollar, symbol ADA, being requested by Mr. Blah, blah, blah. Great name right there. We'll be looking at a 4-hour daily. 4-hour looks very obviously bouncy first before anything else. A little bit of an inverted head and shoulder short-term reversal pattern going on right here. And this does, first and foremost, look to be a corrective move. So I would be on lower high watch on this one, to be fair. Now, we have seen several things within this market, obviously look really fucking good. So it does make me a little bit reserved against a statement like that, but that is my rule in this case. And what do we see? We see that volatility is declining right here from hitting highs on that last major downside move. And this is, again, to be looked at as a correction first and foremost. I'll be looking at the very least at a short-term target towards about 260 or so. Very likely does tick up towards about 270. And I imagine that's probably in line with this as a measure move from this as an inverted head and shoulder. Something like this would be about right. And looking somewhere right around there, actually. Yes, so pretty much right back at it. That actually would pop you back into that failed formation, but I don't think it's relevant, seeing as I think that those things are typically just, well, Jesus toast to begin with. But overall, how this one looked like on a daily. This one obviously getting hit a little bit harder than the rest of the market, to be fair, but, you know, until Bitcoin actually breaks down, I do suspect that we might see a bit of bear trappy situations going on right here. We actually saw this correction happening on declining volatility, and it's only just starting to potentially expand right here. The moving average is not even flattened out just yet, but don't look at that as a signal in and of itself. And do we have any sort of potential divergent signals on the other sort of higher term timeframes, like a 2-day or 3-day? Not really. I mean, we don't really have too much going on right here. 5 days, just continuation for what it's worth. Already played out the bearish divergence right there. Weekly. Same thing. Kind of hard one to play on that one. Now, what I would feel very, very confident saying is that, hey, I would look at this at, or I would look at 230 as an invalidation point to the downside, meaning that while I am short-term, medium-term looking for a bit of an upside move here, probably into like the low 270s or so, if this thing does come back down below about 235, I would be looking for this one to actually have a pretty nasty fall. And continue those losses down to about 220 to 2.25 or so. But for right now, looking pretty damn good. 4-hour RSI getting out of the bearish control zone right there. And 4-hour Drew actually having somewhat of a decent signal, although I don't see that supported by the DMI at this point in time. Let's go check it out on Momentum Oscillators over here, seeing what Stokes are saying for this one specifically. And 4-hour Stokes remain to the upside, working their way out of the bearish control zone. As long as this one stays above 231, looking good. Hourly is obviously going to be up as well, I imagine. Actually, freshly crossing up above 246 on the next closure. Very good as well. And daily will turn back up with any sort of a closure above 272. So you can now see how the short-term timeframes bleed into the higher-term timeframes, assuming that this move plays out. So if you do see this move play out and then the daily closes above about, what was it, 270 or so, I would be looking for this one to then try back around about 295, maybe even $3. And what is this going to look like? It's going to look like a fucking bear trap. So what it's going to look like. And that would, again, bode well, at least in my opinion, for Bitcoin right here. So for what it's worth, the setup is there. 235 is the risk, and hopefully that was helpful. There you go. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, by the way, because I see the SEC commission here. Hey, how you guys doing? Are you having a good talk with Coinbase right now? Kaizen Raman says EGLD 4-hour daily. I think we already looked at this one. Let me just double check here. I believe we did though. Yeah, we did. Pretty damn good still. Pretty damn good still. Pretty damn good still. Yeah, that is right. Okay, my English is working, I think. No, this is also. I think that I'm just getting this one a little bit later, and it's probably all good from right here. But if you want to look at something very, very specific, I'm happy to look at it. Let me know in the comment section. Aswath, what's up, man? Can I get VET USD on the daily and weekly? Sure. Curious to see how this one's done as well. Was one of the more popular coins of yesteryears, and how's it doing right now? This one very similar to Link actually, in the sense that it has actually not taken out the prior daily lows on a closing basis, which is a good sign. And we do see potential hidden bullish evidence populating here as well. If this one does confirm a local low here, I would be looking for the exact same scenario that we've been seeing on most of the other ones. Very fucking interesting stuff actually. Any sort of a daily total closure above about what is this? What is this, 1370 or so? I would call this one a bear trap confirmed, and I'll be looking for a retest of the highs on this rally, and very likely new highs on this rally towards 19.5 to 20 cents or so. Where did I invalidate this one? Well, obviously below the 200 simple, which is also in line with your last sort of slew of daily lows. So below there, you know, no immediate bullish case. I'd be looking for a move down to 10 cent, probably bounce there, and then continuation lower. It looked pretty damn bad. Weekly, weird. I don't have an opinion on the weekly. The weekly just looks fucking bizarre to me. Looking at a 4-hour short term, it's got the same sort of scenario that we got on Cardano right there. I'll be looking at a short term move somewhere back around about 13 cents and then come back to it maybe tomorrow or next week. Hopefully that was helpful, sir. The SEC says F titty BTC onto 4-hour prees. By the way, NTD is new Taiwan. Oh, you're from Taiwan. Is that a real country? Is Taiwan real? I've heard about this Taiwan country. They actually seem to make a lot of materials that we used in the U.S. But I'm told now by the media, Taiwan's not fucking real. That's weird. Can you show it to me on a map? It looks fucking real to me, man. Anyways, besides the bad jokes, yes, let's go look at Titty BT. Wait, god damn it, this is not a real motherfucker. I got trolled by the fucking SEC. How much of a loser do I have to be? Oh boy, don't answer that question, please. Legend Ali Z says, Sir, AMD daily weekly. Let's check it out. When 1:30. Let's check it out over here. Especially with NASDAQ looking a little bit corrective here. Yeah, I'd be looking for when 1:30. Well, in this case, I'd be looking for this one to try a little bit of a downside move. First, before anything else, man, I do still like this one long term. Obviously, I mean, this is like not what I would consider a bearish chart by any stretch of the imagination, but I'd be looking for this one to correct back down to at least like low $100 first. Looks like I was going to be wrong on this one, or at least I would imagine I was probably bullish on this one way on over here. That is not going to happen, at least in the short term, very obviously. This one is getting a lot of downside signals as well. So while I do think that it will test back down around your middle of August lows, around about low $100, like 100 to 103.5 or so. I would be looking for a bounce there first, but pray that the bounce holds, because if it does not, this one will correct further down to about mid 90s, mid to low 90s after that. But for right now, you know, long term, do I hit a chart like this? Do I hit a chart that looks like this? No, I don't. This is kind of just a backfill on last month's open. Shouldn't necessarily be like too bearish right here, to be fair, but the second that it starts to take out last month's low, which is right around that like 102 target or so, that's when this one does start to look a lot more corrective. And let's see if we see any signals over here. Yeah, this would confirm bearish evidence on monthly RSI. Monthly Jewel still looks okay though. Monthly BBWP is looking for expansion. I mean, this trend is still very, very obviously up. I'd like to see this one on the quarterly actually, just for the long term. Yeah, it does look a little bit. Sure. Oh, FTT. Oh, you bastard. You bastard SEC. Yeah, we can look at that. I don't think I have any more ideas on this one other than that. I do think it plays out a bit of a downside move first though. And then pray for a bounce in the low 100s. Okay, cool. You're looking at FTT. FTT, okay. I'd like to look at this one versus the dollar. I know you didn't request it, but it's just going to be easier, and I think that this is more pertinent for the general market right now. We can look at the Bitcoin parent as well. Why not? And you know what? Fuck it. I'll do both. And I actually want to record this one here too, just because. We got another fucking Sam token, don't we? Here we have FTT versus the dollar. We'll also be looking at the Bitcoin parent as well. We're going to do general overview of this one, and we have yet again another Sam coin that is closed on new all-time highs on the daily dollar closure. So obviously this one did play down with the rest of the market on 7th of September. And you can see right here, closed pretty much unchanged on a Doji Dildo and now reapproaching the highs of the prior rally. Daily RSI still very much healthy right here. Yes, at some point we probably will have some bearish divergence to be aware of, but that's not until we have at the very least a local high in. And where is BBWP right now? It is approaching 90 percentile, yes, but I like to see this one get at least to 95 percentile, preferably towards 100 before I start to look for like medium-term highs on this one before a bit of a corrective move. 4-hour time frame already retested the prior highs on a closing basis, very, very good. And I would have an invalidation point below about 71 bucks, or if you just want to make it nice and simple, 70 bucks in this case. But overall, looking pretty damn good here, playing out the hidden bullish evidence from the last local low right there. That's already played out, obviously. 4-hour Joule still has its positive curvature, so I expect that this one probably does go for one more leg. 12-hour already closing on new highs, which again is not bad, obviously. Let's go see where the next sort of areas of interest would be to the upside, barring that corrective move being confirmed in this case. So we've already based off the 414 in this case. I do want to add into let's get rid of, going to be my next short-term target in this case. Yeah, about 80 to 82 and a third. No, that is around your prior highs. Look, if this one takes out the prior high, I'd be looking for this one to go on a bit of a run towards 100 bucks. I'll say it right now. Powerful, very, 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 very powerful. Look at it on this chart over here as well. I do want to see where it is on the trending charts. Yep, I'd feel very, very confident saying that as long as it is closing above the top side Toronto band, it has been doing that for the last 1, 2, 3, working on 4 days, it looks like. And that'll be confirmed yet again with any sort of a closure above 79 and 14 cents, it looks like. Looking good here. Again, it is getting very close to a local high, but I'll probably be looking for the PMAR also to get somewhere around about a $1.40 or so. And it's not a $1.40, but like 140 or so. For right now, this one still looking like it's got still looking like it's got some momentum here. Go check it out over here on our momentum charts as well and see what they're saying on the daily. Yep, daily momentum remains the upside as long as above 72 bucks, especially. 4-hour, same thing, as long as above 68 and a quarter. Dare I say, yeah, this one probably does hit somewhere around 100 bucks first before like a daily corrective move. Looking pretty damn good. We can also check out the Bitcoin pairing here as well. Imagine this one's looking pretty damn good as well. Yep, holy shit, dear lord, man, dear fucking lord. Yep, okay. Holy shit, man. Hidden bullish evidence on the last weekly low, back in the bullish control zone. I mean, this one's probably already smashed a bunch of targets on here. Let's see where we're at in the grand scheme of things. I would be looking for a little bit of a continuation move, probably somewhere around 19,000, maybe as much as 21,000 satoshis for the next daily correction, but this one's got to be hot here. Yeah. Look, I do think it's maybe got one more drive to like 19,000, but I think this is kind of what I'm looking for on like a pullback sort of signature for BBWP. Daily RSI is getting up there, but I mean, it's not even out of the critical zone just yet. Where'd my invalidation point be on a 4-hour? Back below about 15,400 or so would look good for a corrective move back down to about 13,500 or so. But for right now, I guess I'd cautiously say a little bit more continuation on this one. The dollar pairing looks a lot better, to be fair. The dollar pairing does look a lot better. If I'm looking at the hourly, I'd probably be looking for a bit of a pullback first, actually. But fair enough. Hopefully that was helpful. And there you go for FTT, the FTX token. Nice one. All right. Legend LEZ says, Solana, this revolution will be televised in the cave. Fucking nice mode, man. Yeah, it's... Look, I don't know anything about the fucking fundamentals, but when I look at a chart, I can see that apparently they must be good. Apparently they must be good right there. Very, very interesting to see something like that, man. Very fucking interesting to see. Sorry, I completely missed this one over here as well. The Saturn Epoch. Professor, just regular Krown, sir. I'm no professor. I'm just someone sharing my experience here. That's all. When the Bitcoin trap ends, okay, this is an assumption here. So this is an assumption here. And to be fair, I'm kind of leaning towards that right now. It's like in Thailand, and you just can't tell for sure, is it a bear or man? And how could a Sigma male make the most out of ADX and DI indicators? Okay. So first off, that's why we have, those major points in mind. For me, on a daily, that's 49.5. On a 12-hour, that's more, maybe like just about 50,000 bucks or so. How do we make the most of ADX and DI indicators? So you're talking about the ADX DMI essentially, which is a directional alongside a momentum indicator. How can you make the most of them? If you're in the program, there's obviously a video on that and the way that I like to use them. If you're not, I don't know if I have a video on this YouTube channel that you can view, but basically what you're looking for on the DMI, if I want to bring this up right now. Oh, God damn it. All right. Yeah, we'll bring it up right now, just really, really quickly here. All right, where's my damn DMI? Where are you? You fuck. Found it. All right, there we go. So what you're looking for is you're looking for essentially either the DMI minus or the DMI plus to get dominant which I typically look at a level not actually at 20, but if you want to be conservative at around 24.5, you want to be aggressive at about 22.5. And then I want to see ADX strengthening at the same time. And that just means that it has a positive slope on it. Now, with the ADX, it does matter where it's kind of coming from in my experience. And the best signals come from when the ADX is coming from a very low level in the single digits over here and turning up alongside the ADX or alongside the DMI plus or minus becoming dominant above that threshold. That's kind of like the 2-second explanation of it. Other than that, man, like we need to like sit down for a while and kind of go over it. If you had like a very specific question about it, then we could maybe address that. But other than that, I think it's going to it's hard to know exactly like how you want to use it, and that's just a very bastardized, generalized way to do to be looking at it right there, without any like major specifics. Michael Kelly says, "Can we please have a little look-see at COTI 4-hour and daily, please?" Sure. COTI US DERP on Binance, looking good on the short-term reversal right here. Bit of an hourly higher low and working on a higher high as well. Probably looking for this one to trade back up towards 33 cents. Sorry, but US for a 4-hour and daily, 4-hour right here. Same thing going on. Very, very similar chart to the other ones. And on a daily, you know, I hold reservations on this one actually being a confirmed reversal as long as you're especially above the 200 simple in this case, which is 27 cent. Short term, I'd be looking up. Where I confirm a bear trap on this one? This one's a little more difficult. I'd say daily's got to be back up about 37 cent. Probably easy to watch Bitcoin in this case. 5-day, how did this one close? Not great. Did have hidden bearish divergence right there. Yeah, not the strongest chart of them all, but I would be looking for a bit of a short-term move. In this case, to the upside right here. Yeah, probably somewhere around about 32 to 33 cent or so short-term, and then come back to it a little bit later. Okay, the Solana revolution will be televised. Well, I mean, what actually does Solana do? It's just like Ethereum, but it's in some ways better, I suppose. What's up, Nimbo? There he is. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I've been fielding calls all morning from Sony, Universal, Fox, and even Kanye. They all want to sign you. What should I tell them? I'm not for sale, bitch. I got my own label. It's called Krown Music. What do you mean no? Why are you not supportive? I'm the CEO of Simp Records. That's right. I'm already signed to Simp Records. Sorry, Sony. Oh, if Michael Jackson calls, I'm in, baby. He is the best of all time. Also, most prolific raper as well. Rapper. He built a fucking like amusement park in his backyard so that he could like get kids to come over. He really loved those kids. I watched the documentary and like I kind of understand Michael Jackson at that. And just don't cut me off before I finish because it's gonna sound bad. I kind of understand him after that point because he really loved these kids. Like he loved these kids in the same way that a normally adjusted person loves someone who is also around their age. But for him, he got that like he inverted his fucking sexuality, I guess. Something like that, man. Anyways, whatever. In the same way, what I'm trying to say is in the same way that I love Elsa, in the same way that you love your significant other, whatever they might be, Michael Jackson loved those fucking kids, man. And that came out wrong as well. What's wrong to understand about that? Understanding is a good thing. He's also the greatest musician of all time. What is your issue? That does not mean I want to rape kids. Where did I say that? Yeah, the people that he got to fucking come over to his place. So like, Jesus Christ, how dumb can you be? Like they interviewed the parents of some of these kids who got allegedly molested, because it's it is alleged, I guess. And like the fucking mom of one of these guys says, well, the first night that we went on a trip to Florida with Michael to Disneyland, he asked if little Billy could come and sleep in his bed because he'd like it. And I thought it was weird. And then I said yes. It's like, what the fuck? Like, what? It's like, you might think that your parents are like bad, and like they treated you poorly as a kid, but at least they didn't take you to Michael Jackson's fuck ranch. So it's better. Something to think about, be appreciative. Sushi Yum Yums, what's up, man? MATIC, please. 4-hour daily was looking like a good setup prior to the dump. Will it recover and continue as it was? Well, probably more of a function of Bitcoin or whatever Bitcoin does. But let's go check it out. Short term, looking good for a move back up towards 150 or so. But you're asking about like the more long term on this one. Again, another one that actually technically did not make new lows on this last dumbola here. So I would actually hold off on getting further bearish on this one until it actually closed below about 130, at least on a fucking 12-hour daily. Maybe even on a 4-hour as well. I'd say a 4-hour below about 1.25 or so would do it for me. But for right now, daily is actually potentially going to confirm hidden bullish evidence right here. That happens, I would be looking at least for an extension back up to about 150 or so. I wouldn't call a bear trap on this one confirmed until it trades back above, or not trades back above, but really closes back above about 160 that is. And then yes, I'd be looking at a retest of prior highs, and then very likely you kind of see it repeat a lot of the other chart formations that you've seen within this market. So fair enough. I mean, in this case, you know, it's still an uptrend to be fair. Weekly does not look good though. I would say weekly looks pretty damn bad, but you know, I'd hold off on judgment for right now. Again, the levels for invalidation are pretty damn simple right there. All right, let's see what else we got. Jeff, what's up, man? Not that I understand it, but looking at the Ryan Gaussian channel for Bitcoin on the daily, 2-day and 3-day looks interesting. Let's check it out. Actually, I haven't looked at it on the daily specifically recently. Let's check out what we got going on over here. I need to get rid of my moving averages, and let's put on the Gaussian channel. All right, so we're bouncing off the top side of it right now. Typically speaking, actually, it's actually rather interesting. This is actually rather interesting because this, I mean, that does kind of play into, you know, a bit of a bear trap bias. I mean, as long as you're kind of closing, or as long as you're bouncing above it, that is generally a good thing, obviously, as you can see right here. It's not until you really start to close back down below the top side of it where, you know, your corrective moves typically happen to, at the very least, the medium band, and in more nasty cases, the bottom band. Let's pull up some other iterations, perhaps going out throughout historical times. Maybe I can even add this to my list. Nope, you can see over here, and one of the ones that I highlighted from yesterday's video, that September dump actually took you all the way to the downside of, or sorry, all the way to the bottom side of that Gaussian, of that Gaussian channel. Still just corrective move to be fair, but that would not be kind of where we're at on this current trajectory right here. Then again, bounce off the top side of it is not a bad thing. See what the 2-day looks like. 2-day would obviously be a lot more on the bearish side, but still we need to see it close below the top side. And where is that? 45,000 bucks or so, kind of right around the 200 simple on the daily as well. 3-day is going to be in danger of closing below the top side of the Gaussian channel today, actually, at 5 p.m. Eastern time. And what about 5-day? Did close below the top side of the Gaussian channel as well. That'd be a little bit more on the concerning side. I don't know what to make of that just yet. I don't know what to make of that, but I do appreciate you calling that one out. Would also suggest that if you do see another wick down to about 44.5 on Bitcoin, probably is at least a bit of a short-term scalp opportunity. Not necessarily not necessarily medium-term or long-term opportunity, but at least short-term. But yeah, very interesting. I do appreciate you calling that out. I'll probably need to spend some more time looking at that because we're getting completely different reads from, you know, a daily up to a 5-day or so, which kind of throws me off a bit. But very, 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 very interesting to kind of analyze, and maybe a bit more of a concerted video right there. All right, cool. Nope, Jeff, we're all good right there, and I think this, yeah, and also we'll time step in anyway, so all good right there. Hey, what's up, Jack? Okay, Solana's versus the Bitcoin pair. Yeah, we could do that. And you said medium to long term now. You're switching up on me, sir. What's going on over here, sir? You missed consistency for so long. No, short and medium term and long term. I see. Okay. All right, so the Bitcoin pairing is equally as impressive as the US dollar pairing. That is just insane. That is just fucking insane right there. Now, so when I look at the long term of something like this, I want to look at a weekly, and obviously this one's not closing until Sunday, but any sort of a closure coming into this weekend above 4,000 or 40,000 Satoshi is going to look very, very good for a continuation to, dare I say, new all-time highs later this month. Let's see if we have anything. Oh, I guess I already have this one right here. Let me actually plot the new one because it's a little bit more streamlined here. There we go. And it's also on the log scale as well. I probably would be looking for a continuation up to somewhere between the 3414 and the 3618, which is between about 50,000 and 56,000 Satoshis. That is going to be the long term of this one. Again, assuming that the weekly does close above those critical levels. Daily, I mean, this one's fucking extended, man. Like, I do not feel good calling continuation from here without at very least like a 4-hour pullback, but 4 hours continuation as well. I wouldn't even be looking for, I wouldn't even call a corrective move as long as above, this is not even helpful here at this point. 38,500 Satoshis, but that is where it would be. I mean, this thing is really fucking far out there. Hourly looks a little bit more pulley back here. Again, BBWP is absolutely on the ceiling. I imagine 4 hours probably close to it as well. It kind of is. So I wouldn't mind a bit of a short-term pullback, back down to about 41,500 or so. Things really want to correct down to 38, that would be fine. Again, the setup is for next week to come, and then I'd be looking at those targets probably like late September, early October or so. Nothing bearish about this chart, especially on a daily. Like, this is just not fucking helpful right here, but especially as long as you're above about 27,000 Satoshi. So this thing can have some major ranges. BBWP on the daily is getting very hot there as well. I cautiously would remain bullish on this one, however. I mean, it's just hasn't been really a winning trade to front run a reversal on any other time frame, maybe than an hourly in this case. So short term, very likely a bit of a short term downside move to like 41.5 or so. At that point, it's still just a higher low, which is fucking crazy, man. Powerful Solana's right there. I don't think that was too helpful, which is unfortunate. But what I would feel a lot more confident with is the weekly right there. To hopefully help a little bit more. What's up, Bababooey? Nice emoticon right there. Nice one. Where did you get that? Chester Adlin says, I'm thinking of shorting Hex long-term thoughts. First off, I don't believe that you can short Hex, and I probably would not short Hex if I could. In fact, I'm actually should I record a video on this one today? This is like the day where maybe it might actually be topping. It's very, very close here. It's very, very close here. I think it probably does gun for 50 cent first, just hits a round even number and then maybe plays out a bit of a pullback, but wow, just fucking wow. Which chart is stronger, this one or Solana? And they're both equally like just fucking powerful. Well, first off, I don't believe that you can short this thing, and actually did do just because like people fucking incessantly show this thing. Like Hex would be so much easier to like if people just weren't so fucking egregious with showing this thing in front of my fucking ear. It's just ridiculous. Because it's a great chart. I mean, it's a fucking phenomenal chart. I actually looked a little bit into it, just out of curiosity, and I start to understand why like this thing is actually just going up in the way that it is. It basically, the way that it's set up is it's like, and I'm going to explain this in a poor way right now, so please do not take offense if you're like the biggest Hex mascot of all time, but it's like a forced hodl. It's like you put your money into this pseudo CD sort of setup, and there's like humongous penalties for taking your money out of it. So I think I saw something along the lines of like, the average deposit time that people are like looking to hold it for is somewhere like around 7 years. So this thing, I mean, theoretically this thing really theoretically could go on for like a long time, because you're really you truly are incentivized to just keep on hodling on something like this. So that is why I believe it's kind of doing the thing that it's doing. As far as I know, I don't know if it actually does anything. I think that's what Pulse is for. I think Pulse is like supposed to be kind of an Ethereum sort of semi-similar, but yeah, man, maybe I do record a video on this one. I'm gonna get so much fucking shit from Hex people, but I would like to see. All right, here we have Hex versus the dollar on this one. A video that's been long coming because I've been looking at this one ever since it's got to be like April or probably March, April of this year, and I've been fucking bullish on it, especially ever since April on this reversal over here. And these targets just keep on getting like higher and higher. Sounds pretty crazy, but we're just looking at pure technicals right now. I'm not making any comments on the underlying project or anything like that. I'm not the person to do that. I am not educated in that fashion. All I can talk about is charts right here. Now, we did hit the 3.618 Fibonacci extension target coming out of the prior base, which was all the way back in July, actually mid-July, resolved in late August. And this typically is a bit of a short-term, medium-term pullback area. And I would be looking probably for it to play back down somewhere around to the 3.272. Now, with that said, I did say yesterday that I would be having around a 50 to 55 cent target on the highs of this run, and I probably would still stay with that overall. So while it might play out a bit of a short-term pullback, in fact, you kind of see it already on the hourly. You might even argue, I might even argue that this one's already played out as a pullback. In fact, actually, I probably would. I wouldn't be looking for a corrective move as long as this thing's above about 40 cents or so in this case. I think it's very likely it's already played out right here. I wouldn't be looking for the next sort of, major high to be put in until we see BBWP get all the way up, at least to 95 percentile, preferably 100 percentile, and stay there for a couple days like you saw way back on over here, but probably a little bit too early within the history to really be judging it from a volatility perspective on the daily when we saw those reads. Over here on the 12-hour should precipitate that as well, and momentum oscillators do still say that this one probably has maybe one more stab, and then a bit of a medium-term pullback. Now, I wouldn't necessarily call a reversal on it just yet, and I don't think that there's any real long-term considerations of reversal. until this one does come back down below about 35 cents. Now, below 35 cents, I'd be confident and comfortable saying that this one will play out, more prolonged downside move and correct down probably into the low 20s, over time. But for right now, still a continuation move, still very, very strong. I mean, none of the higher term timeframes are bearish. They're just extended. So pullbacks very likely to just make higher lows at this point. By daily RSIs around prior highs that we've seen about 92. So we will have a little bit of bearish evidence right there. But again, it's not even a local high just yet. 3-day, I imagine, is going to be closing today. And this is continuation. I would not feel comfortable calling a high here just yet. 5-day, same shit. Weekly is continuation as well. I'm curious what momentum also to say over here. See what we got going on. Hourly is actually going to flip back up with any sort of closure above 45.5 cents or so. 4 hours going to be up as long as above 43.40 or so. 12 hour down if we do close below 44.5, actually below there right now, and daily will actually go down as long as below 45 cents. So it does need to continue basically today above 45 cents for that next set of targets to be relevant. Otherwise, I would be looking for the short-term, medium-term scenario to play out, pullback scenario to play out first. This one is just powerful right here. Let's look at it on linear scale. Like, that's the real chart. Like, that's you don't need to be a professional trader or anything like that to look at that and say that that's pretty damn extended. But if there's one thing that I know, do not fucking front run trend reversals before they actually happen, because these parabolic moves, like, they always go higher than what you think. And even the short term is showing a little bit of hidden bullish evidence right here. I'm curious to see what it looks like on my trending charts over here as well. Let's get rid of these DMI. Okay, get out of there. Well, it actually might be relevant. It's still actually strengthening for what it's worth. Daily, trending above the top side trend band. However, this would be a toppy-ish close today if we do close below, especially like low 40 cent. But for what it's worth, it has been trending above the top side trend band for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Working on day number 11 right here. Again, I kind of rest my case on that until it actually does close below. I would not be willing to call even like a medium-term high on this one. It's extended as fuck. I'll tell you what you already know. And we are, from a PMR perspective, still not necessarily around where those mega highs have come in from the past as well. So if I did have to call it, I think it probably does print like another high or two first, and then probably does play out a bit of a corrective move to the downside. Then we'll come back to it after that. But for right now, still chugging its way along, and can't really hit a chart that looks like that ever. So fair enough. And hopefully that was helpful. There you go. Did I talk about invalidation points? Yeah, I believe I did. Okay, so we're all good there. Nice one. All right, beautiful. All right, cool. Let's see. Nimbo says, sir, please have a look at 333 Hong Kong Exchange. Okay, so only threes. Only threes. Evergrande? That's a weird Chinese name to be have. What the fucking hell is this thing from? What the? This is a dumpster fire. This is a. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, it even looks bad on log scale too. That is terrible, man. Apparently this is the hex of traditions and is showing, it's a hex of traditionals. It's showing a clear path forwards. Could be. I mean, at some point, like, people are going to take profits on those. And those deposits do come to fruition, like I said, on average at 7 years. So it could go on for a while, but, Jesus Christ. If this is the hex of traditionals, that is concerning. That'd be very concerning. What's up, Tony? What's up, Mr. Tony? Adam USD, 4 hour daily, 4 hour GCJ can't, my fucking man. What was it? Oops, I just lost it. There we go, Adam. Yes, that's it. I remember. Yeah, those Chinese stocks, they typically trade kind of weird. There's actually been like warnings put out as well for them. Very, very good chart right here. Something that's actually recovered around its prior highs of this rally already, it looks like. Daily is still within an uptrend. We still do see another higher low right here. I have nothing bearish to say about this thing, especially as long as above $20.60 or so. Hidden bullish evidence being populated on the daily right here. I know you asked about a 4 hour, so we'll go to that right now. 4 hour, probably be looking for a bit of a pullback, perhaps maybe back down to like low 22, but don't confuse pullback with a reversal here. I'm not bearish on this thing as long as you're above, again, that what was it, like $20.50 target. Probably looking for this one to trade sideways and up from here and reclaim around 26 and a quarter or so. Long term, I just don't hate a chart that looks like this, man. Very fucking good on the monthly too. That to me is an opportunity first and foremost. This kind of strengthens my general idea that Bitcoin probably is doing something relatively similar. Then again, short term time frames do look like they want to come back down now. Bad Bitcoin. I would not be surprised at all to see Bitcoin get a quick wick down and then probably try another move. But yeah, hourly does want to come back down here. We do have, I imagine, hidden bearish divergence. Yes, indeed we do. I would be looking for a short-term move back down to about 45.5, maybe even $45,000 even. And then maybe that 4-hour move does play out. Still got another hour and 30 on that one before the next closure. Chris, what's up, man? Can we look at H-bar, 1 hour in daily? Sure. I think we saw this one on the winners list earlier today. So let's see where this one is currently trading right now. Yeah, what the actual hell? Certainly it has already, it's not just reclaimed the highs of this rally. It's already made new highs on this rally. Another drive of hidden bullish evidence. I would say that that's certainly already confirmed. I'll be looking for this one to extend its gains all the way up to about 37.25 or so, maybe even all the way back to the prior highs. And you know, with the way that a lot of the other things are looking, I mean, it kind of makes your mind wonder. Probably do see a similar move if I had to guess. I mean, this is textbook right here. We got momentum, we got trend, and we got volatility yet again. I mean, that's just another higher low. Fucking good, man. Okay, yeah, we need to ban the spammers. Sorry, market takers. Yeah, send them on a vacation. Yeah, man, if you're gonna spam like that, look, I understand that you want to look at what you want to look at, but you're just gonna piss everyone else off, man. And we're about the community here. We're not about just like spamming some bullshit and pissing people off, man. It's just, look, you wouldn't do that in real life, right? You wouldn't do that in real life. Like, you wouldn't walk up to someone and just be like, XRP, 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 XRP. They're going to look at you like you're fucking crazy and be like, okay, this is a person I should avoid and ignore for a very long time. I want to walk very far away from this person. So enjoy your vacation, sir. And then maybe at some point you come back, you know? Christina Razos, what's up? What's up, Christina? Morning, Krown. Good morning to you as well. Can you look at EGLD? Yeah, we've looked at this one a couple times. I remember what we're looking at. Whoops. There. That's the wrong one right there. Yeah, looking good right here. Looking good on this one. I'd be looking for this one to continue the rally. It's the same chart as what we just looked at. This one's a little bit better though. Hidden bullish evidence on the daily, higher low on the daily as well. Volatility turning up above 50 percentile. You know, I suspect that this one's probably going to make a move towards 225, maybe even like 240. It's good. Very, very good. Invalidation point would very clearly be below about 169. I like it. I like it. Nicely done. Cool. Luke Soda says, me on D HD. Wait, what? Sir, I don't understand what the fuck you're saying. Luke Sotos, me on, okay, is it symbol ME on, oh, you're talking about head and shoulders. Okay, I see. That's internet speak right there. So you're looking at this thing right here, 23andMe. Is there a head and shoulders on the daily? No, but it is a downtrend and it is shitty, and we do have hidden bearish divergence, so I would be looking for a move back down to about 769 or so. Maybe like a short-term bounce right there. Long-term, I don't expect that this thing does anything more than what it has always done, which is go down and down and down, but probably bounce at it like, what was it, 760 or 769, whatever it was. All right, cool. David Davian, what's up, man? Scale, okay. Check this one out. Scale, wait, what the, I just saw right there. Oh, I see, okay. I see. Is this another Sam coin? No, it's KuCoin, Derp coin. What the fuck is this? All right. Yeah. Let's check out this one over here. Maybe Binance. Yeah, Binance probably want to go to. Weekly, not too helpful right there. Daily. Okay, you did not give any time frames, but we do still have an upturn on the daily. Hidden bullish evidence actually going to be confirmed today with any sort of a closure above, especially 39 cents, which it's kind of at right now. If that does get confirmed, I'd be looking for a move at the very least to about 42.5. The question is, though, does this one want to confirm the bear trap or not? Confirmation of bear trap is with a daily closure above 42 cent. At that point, I'd be looking for a retest of the highs of this rally, and very likely this one, you know, does pop back up towards 56 or 57 cent. Other than that, though, I'd be very comfortable to get incredibly bearish on this thing below about 35 cent again. But for right now, short term looks good to the upside. Medium term looks okay, just sideways. And then daily, you know, if those sort of areas start to get ticked off, I would be looking for that continuation move. And again, it's probably going to play out the same things that we saw, you know, amongst more of the strong coins that we've looked at today. FY Hex is finally listed on page 1 of CoinMarketCap. Oh, nice. Okay. Well, I mean, they should do something like that. Like if that is legitimate, then that's what they should do, obviously. Huge ass titties. Hey, yes, my man. Big ass titties. Can you shout out my mom, please? Hello, Mom. This is from Huge Ass Titties, your beautiful son who absolutely loves you, and your massive titties, your massive milkers over there. Thank you for the food when I was young. And now I just have something to look at and stare at on all the family dinners. Thank you very much, Mom. Green third. That was terrible. That's just really awful. Like, I'm so sorry, man. I've had some pretty bad taste in jokes recently. I apologize on that one, man. Green Third Eye says, hello, Simp Record CEO. That's me. That's me. Can we look at IOTX on the 4-hour daily and weekly? Sure. IOTX. What do we have here? Okay, another Coinbase and Binance coin. You're saying that it has a slight divergence on what time frame? You got a 4-hour. Yes, you do have it on the 4-hour right here. Certainly, we're actually printing some phantom div potential with any sort of a closure here or higher by the next 4-hour closure. Sorry, that's the daily. Apologies, that's on the daily. And if that does get confirmed, I'd be looking for another move up towards about 9 cents or so. 4-hour time frame. Not looking as strong. This one looks like a corrected move and probably a lower high in the making. But again, it's market analysis over individualistic analysis. So what would I say? Well, if you're looking at the 4-hour time frame, 7.4 cent is where I'd be looking towards. Actually, basically the high of the rally thus far. If you start to close above there, I'd say this is not going to be a corrected move, and you're gonna reclaim around the highs of this rally thus far. 4-hour RSI is not making hidden bearish divergence yet, but if it does, that's at the point where I start to look for a move back down to about 6 cent or so. I think you asked about a weekly as well. I don't have an opinion on the weekly. The weekly is trending up, obviously, but I don't see anything too obvious right here. So I think I'll hold off on comment for that. This one actually big focus on the short-term timeframes and in the daily right there, specifically the 4-hour, and I think that would be actually a very, very obvious signal back above about 7.5 cent. Okay, Mr. Chasco, what's up, man? Yeah, we can look at Cardano BTC. Sure. We already looked at the dollar pairing, but we have not looked at this pairing. 4-hour looks decent. 4-hour looks decent on this one as well. 4-hour Jewel caught actually around the lows, not necessarily the low. They gave you another entry a little bit lower on this one, to be fair. BBWP is expanding off 50 percentile, good, and 4-hour RSI is actually showing some upside here as well. I'd be looking for expansion to the upside in this case. Probably somewhere right around about short-term like 56.50 or so. I'd really want to see a closure above about 5,500 Satoshis or so. That look pretty damn good for continuation move back around, I imagine, the highs of this rally. Yeah, again, you have another one of these setups right here. It looks like on a weekly. That is a hell of a wick right there. I'm not necessarily bearish on that. Now, of course, this one isn't closed just yet, but if this thing closes anywhere above like 5,500 Satoshis especially, I'd just look at that as correction over long term. Probably trades a bit more sideways, but where did I get bearish on this one? Where's like the obvious bearish area? Below 5,100 Satoshis, and then yes, I'd be looking for a nice move down, probably around the wick lows that you saw from 7th of September down around about 4,500 Satoshis, and probably that's just going to be a bounce before more downside overall. But for right now, showing some promise right there actually. 4-hour RSI really telling the story, and 4-hour Jewel still stays somewhat healthy as well there. I mean, it is still healthy. It's just don't trust that signal too much for right now. All right. He said, Jeff says, look at BitMEX 2-day. We can look at BitMEX on the 2-day, but I don't, if you're talking about the Gaussian channel, I don't think it's going to be too relevant, to be honest with you. Okay. It is still above there. The index, I think, is a little bit like, well, I mean, the index and BitMEX are actually on the same tick right there, actually. So, I'm trying to see like what you're seeing, what I'm trying to see. You need to see red coming out of red, bouncing off that region. We do see an error like that right here, and that was indeed a bull trap long term after trading a bit higher. Do we see the same thing over here? Kind of the same thing over here as well. I don't know if I'd make any statements on this just yet. I'd have to look at this a little bit more like at length, not necessarily on stream, because it's kind of hard to dial things in at this point. But I don't know what to make of that just yet, is what I'm trying to say. I guess for right now, short term it would be good, but I wouldn't feel comfortable making any statements on that. But I do appreciate you pointing it out, and I will put it on my list of things to kind of do a little more of analysis on. Jose, what's up, Jose? CRV 4-hour daily. I think we already looked at this one actually. Oh no, we looked at convex. So this is curves like reward token. Yeah, definitely not the strongest chart right here. Definitely one of the weaker charts that we have seen today. And you're looking at what time frames? You're looking at a 4-hour and daily. Okay, so let's get off the weekly then. Short term and on the daily, of course, as well. We actually did make new lows on this, so this is not a good move first and foremost. But I suspect it's going to mirror whatever the rest of the market does. This one's really not as strong though, so probably doesn't follow as much if it does turn to the upside, and it's probably going to overperform to the downside. So where would I be looking for the next continuation move to the downside? I'd say a 4-hour delta closure below about 193, or just a wick lower than what you saw in the last 4-hour, which is 191 or so. And then yes, I would be looking for a nice continuation move back down around your 7th of September lows, somewhere between about 170 and 175. But for right now, where's your bear trap confirmation area? it's no time soon, man. Back above about 230 would do it for me. So it's got a lot of work to do right there. Short-term timeframes, I do think that it will trade a little bit up from here. Hourly looks okay. Do we have hidden bearish evidence right here as well? Well, potentially. No, we do not. We made too high on that run. So very, very short-term timeframes, I would be looking for an extension of this move towards like 208, 209 region, and then come back to it after that. But definitely not the strongest one. And if Bitcoin does turn down from here, that thing is going to get absolutely fucking hammered, I imagine. Echoes the end. What's up, man? Good day to you as well. We already looked at her DERPA hash graph, so I think we're good on that one. Used to listen to your vids on 2x speed after work. Oh my god. Is that even possible, sir? Is that even possible? It's better than hearing all the complaints about you speak too fast. Well, you can always just turn the speed down. It's just like fair enough. I mean, I guess you're free to say whatever you want, but I do appreciate that, man. We already looked at that one, so I'm guessing I'm just getting this one a little bit later, but please remind, or just please say in the comment section if you do want to look at it again. We can definitely do that, but from what I recall, it looked pretty damn good for what it's worth. Chris says, can we take a look at Polkadot? Yeah, we haven't checked in on DOT in a while. Also didn't even get a chance to record a video on Ethereum as well, which is sad. All right, we got DOT over here. Do we want to do this one up below next? Well, I guess it doesn't really matter. 4-hour daily. Daily still actually operating on higher lows as well. Will have hidden bullish evidence if it can confirm a local low here. How would it do such things? I'd say a daily closure back of about $30.5 would do it for me. I'd be looking for a retest of the highs of this rally. 4-hour, however, this corrected move right here at first glance, I would get bearish on this one below about 2670 on a 4-hour. For right now, I think I give it the benefit of the doubt just because it does hold the uptrend, and we do see a few potential signals in the making here. To be fair, and even on that last downside move, volatility contracted throughout that, which is extremely interesting to me. Weekly, not really getting too much from this, just looks like a weird chart. Other than that, what I stick with is, I think that you could operate on the presumption that you're going to trade a little bit sideways and up from here, probably back up somewhere around like low $30 region. On the short-term timeframes, again, risk would be below about 2665 or so. Daily, an uptrend, still is a golden cross right on over here. I look at this as a retest of such things. This one, again, kind of rounding out the bear trappy case for Bitcoin. I think that's a generally good thing if you do want to be bullish in this market. What's up, dude daddy? All good, man. All good. Can you take a look at economy USD on the daily? Okay. I don't think I've ever seen this one ever. This thingy? Okay, it's real. Let me just double check that I got this right. Yeah, okay. All right, so it is what I'm supposed to be looking at over here, because it's only in one exchange as well, and you said specifically on the daily. Weird chart again, but it does hold the uptrend. I do expect it will give you one more shot at about 3.5 of a cent. Yeah, 4-hour doesn't look too strong right here, to be fair. I think it's going to kind of swipe around yesterday's lower, and I would be looking for a bounce around there. Now, if the bounce starts to fail and you start to close back down below that region, again, like 3.5 of a cent or so, then I would be looking for this one to kind of lose its luster and come all the way down to like 0.3 of a cent even. But for right now, I give it the benefit of the doubt, I suppose. Weird chart long term. Definitely not my favorite chart long term, but also can't argue with the fact that it does have a weekly reversal already in place. I mean, there's your low, there's your high, there's your higher low, and we've already closed on new highs. So I technically should be looking for continuation of the long-term trend in this case, and probably be looking at long-term moves towards 0.6 of a cent or so. I'd just be aware of the risky areas right there, because I just don't trust them like this too much. But hey, fair enough. It's got the setup in place. Just be aware of the risk. What's up, Arcade? Your thoughts on Bitcoin dominance on the daily, sir? Yeah, we already looked at this earlier. It's interesting because we hit my bounce target and my lower high target at 43.5, and it was immediately rejected, which I would have expected like it was going to spend like a few days around there before giving you that continuation move. The thing is long term, this is obviously still bearish here, and I'll be looking for continuation of trend short term to about 39.5, long term probably back down to your January 2018 lows, which is incredibly interesting. Again, I think this chart's much easier to look at inverted, and that is, I think most people would probably agree that is very obviously bullish. So fair enough on that one. I'd probably be looking for continuation. Specifically on the higher term timeframes. What's up, J3F? Ray USD? Yeah, we can do it. It's only just begun, baby. It's only just begun. Let's check this one out over here. How's Radium doing? Is FTX going to show the same history as Binance? Actually, no. FTX got more. That's good. Well, I guess they're pretty much the same, but let's see. And another great chart right here. Another really good chart, actually. Let me just double check how many videos I've recorded for today. I don't want to overdo it. We got too many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Geez. Man, so I won't record one for this one. I'll actually save it for Ethereum. Daily is obviously very fucking good, or 12 hours obviously very fucking good, and I imagine the daily is as well. This one's already reclaimed its highs. I'd just be looking for general continuation here. It's very, very new, so I don't, have any long-term analysis to be doing on something like this, but hidden bullish divergence on that last low. Obviously, volatility is going to be useless on a 12-hour system that's been around for this low of time. I'd be looking for continuation, very likely around your August highs at 16 and 80 cents or so. 4-hour jewel got the positive curvature coming out of the lows right there. I'd be looking for this one to continue, man. Looks good. Looks good. Another chart that is genuinely doing something relatively impressive. Okay, cool. Sprint, SPRT. Okay. No, it's not Sprint. It's support. How can I not get this one after so many times? Short term up. We're looking at 4-hour daily. Actually, I really like the hourly and traditional market, but I would be looking towards a move of 28 to 20.5 short term. Yeah, 4-hour, same thing. 4-hour hidden bullish evidence on the last low as well. Fill the gap and bounce. Yeah, same thing on daily hidden bullish evidence as well. Looking for this one to have a short-term move up to about 28.5, maybe a short-term pullback there, and then probably guns for the daily gap at like 32 or so. Medium term coming into like the next week or two. Pretty interesting chart long term, actually. This thing's really been everywhere. Kind of strange, but okay. What's up? Rocket awkwardly. HNT on the daily. Sure. Okay. Can't remember if we've already looked at this one, but I think we have not. And on the daily, yeah, another one that's not as interesting as some of the other ones. We do have a potential drive of hidden phantom dip over here. In this case, I would say that this one already did close on new lows, but putting in context of the rest of the market, it did hold it rather well. And looking at the 4-hour right here, I mean, yes, I would be looking for a short-term pullback off of 22.25, but any sort of a closure on a 4-hour above about 22.5, and I'd be looking for this one to reclaim 24.5, and probably continue on with the rally long term. Again, looking at the other things in this market, we didn't even see volatility tick up on that major downside move. I look at that as a correction, and if anything, if you're looking at this from a charting formation, what do you have right here? You have a bit of a falling channel, which is typically a bullishly resolved formation. Actually, it's more like a falling wedge in this case, but not my favorite formation of all time, by the way. But in this case right here, this would be a continuation formation first and foremost. Not bad. All right, we got Megan Hutchinson. How you doing? T loss. Okay, let's see. OS. This. I should know what it is. We've looked at it plenty of times now. We'll do it on Kerp your derp coin, whatever the fuck. Again, another thing that is making new all-time highs. A very impressive chart, all things considered. And does bode well for the rest of the market. 4 hours continuation. This one's just being resolved right now, Megan. I think that this one has actually a fair shot of going like decently higher than where we're at right now. Yeah, we have a straight measure move all the way up to the 2-spot extension, which is a buck and a quarter. I'd probably be looking for a short-term pullback from there. Invalidation below about 82.5 cents. Very, very good though. Very, very good. Hidden bullish evidence off the last low. Volatility increasing alongside trend continuation alongside Jewel. The trifecta. It's the Trinity. It's lovely. It's very, very lovely. We can look at ENJ very, 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 very quickly, Mr. Justin. And then I need to wrap this bitch. This is already 2 hours in. Short term, little bit of a bounce move back up to like 185 to 190ish region. We do have that inverted head and shoulders right here as well. Just looking at a 4-hour daily. Daily, definitely a laggard. Definitely not the strongest chart that we've seen today. But I do think it plays out a bit of a short-term move, and then probably easy to watch Bitcoin after that. Risk is obviously going to be below the 55 on a daily here. And Nathan, what's up, Mr. Nathan? Ethereum, yes, this would be the time. Ethereum, yes, let's fucking do Ethereum. Finally, and then we'll close this baby up. Ethereum looking really interesting right here. All right, here we have Ethereum, symbol ETH versus the dollar, being requested by Mr. Nathan McMillan. It must be Scottish or Irish, maybe. Anyways, with that said, Ethereum, very, very interesting right here. We do still operate on higher lows and higher highs, obviously, a massive corrected move as well, alongside all of that. But as you can see right here, as long as this thing does essentially remain above about 32.30, which is, admittedly very far away from current price action, does hold the higher lows rather valiantly on the daily specifically. Now, speaking of the daily, let's see what momentum oscillators look like. And this is very interesting to me. We've seen this on several altcoins as well, where the BBWP, our volatility indicator, will actually trend down, especially on that September 7th move, which is incredibly interesting to me because that does align with a corrective move first and foremost, and a corrective move within the context of an uptrend. would be a higher low, and that's what we do have for right now. So where would I start to invalidate this one and start to say that, hey, this one's this one is going to be heading much lower? Again, that would be below about 32, what was it, 32.50 I believe, or 32.30, whatever it was. That would be the area right there. And we do have, if this thing does confirm a higher low right here, which we'll talk about soon enough, it will actually have another drive of hidden bullish divergence come off this current low. How would it confirm a higher low? Well, in this case, I'd be a lot more erring on the conservative side, but I'd like to see at least a 4-hour total closure above about 3,600 or so. If that can happen, that'll look pretty damn good. Now, short term, I would be looking for this one to try another move, actually somewhere around about 3,600 or so, or short term and medium term, I suppose. And then come back to it after that. But we do see momentum oscillators like Joule are pointing a little bit northwards, not supported by the DMI right now, which is not a good sign for like a great move, but a short-term move, very likely implied. And BBWP on the 4-hour is starting to contract a bit there as well, so a bit of a sideways move, at worst. And then I'd be looking for. Well, if it does plop back above 3,600, then I would be looking for the daily to play out. And if that plays out, I'd be looking for a retest of the highs of this run. Now, with that said, you go down to the 4-hour as well. I could also front run a trend reversal, or sorry, yes, I could front run a trend reversal with any sort of a 4-hour total closure below about 3,300. Now, with that said, I would be looking for this one to swipe back down around about $3,000. Then probably set up for a move lower over time. But for right now, I give it the benefit of the doubt just based off of the prior trend in this case, looking pretty damn okay right there at the very least. Anyways, go check out momentum oscillators over here like Stokes. And we can see that daily actually is healthily coming down as long as below about 3,900. So this thing's not going to be doing anything like too interesting anytime soon, at least in my opinion. 12-hour coming much further down as well. 3,900 going to be the magical number right there. So again, at very best, this thing does range. I don't think it's going to be reclaiming or trending like some of the other coins that we have seen today towards new all-time highs anytime soon. And we got the 4-hour over here, which is showing 33.46 right now, which are currently about $50 above. So I do suspect that this one does try somewhere around about 3,600. I want to see if we start to close 4-hour dildos above there. If that starts to happen, I would start to extend those targets over the next couple of days back around probably 38 or 3,900, and that's going to look really, really good for the long term. Hourly is healthily down as long as we are below 35.24. And other than that, I don't really have any strong opinions on this one. I'd be looking for the next hourly breakout back above about 35.40, and then probably be looking for the 4-hour move to play out into the low 3,600s or so. So you can kind of see the way forwards on this one. But I'm curious what the buy daily looks like. And again, another chart that's just bouncing off the 21 yet again. 3-day, same thing, literally the same fucking thing. 5-day, bit of a corrective move right there, but until this thing actually even trades below the last 5-day low, I would certainly not call any like macro reversals here. And as it is right now, I'd actually give it the benefit of the doubt. Again, a 4-hour below about 3,300 would be a humongous warning signal. And in fact, I think that would be front runnable for looking for a reversal back down, probably back down to like low $3,000. If you want to play it by the books, the daily would say 32.30 would be my reversal region. Until then, I'd be looking for short-term bounce regions and then see if it can actually clear above that 3,600 level or so on a 4-hour. And that hopefully is all that we got for this one right now. Hopefully that was helpful, and there we go. Nice one. Okay, cool. I think, we got one last one. All right, Jordan Knox, one last one for you, sir. Rhinomed? Rhinomed, all right. Rhinomed. Okay. Next, you're going to tell me about like Oxmed or Black Oxmed or Black Hawksmed. Rhinomed, where the fuck is this thing? There it is, found it. It's an Australian thing. Okay, so you're definitely Australian or probably Australian. Looking good here, actually. Hidden bullish divergence on the last low, and this is a reaccumulation formation in the format of an ascending triangle right here after a nice move to the upside. So this is a continuation move, typically speaking, and in this case, that would imply to the upside. Probably does try again back around about 45.5 cents or so. This one actually looks pretty damn good, at least for the short and medium term. Also looks like the weekly was put in a golden cross there as well. So I don't really have any reason to be looking for anything resembling like a reversal as long as you're above about 29 cents. Below 29 cents, yeah, you got some problems, and I would be looking for this one to fill the gap to the downside at 21. But right now, this one actually very, very good on the monthly. In fact, this one's actually got a reversal in the making on the monthly. In fact, no, it's already confirmed a reversal on the monthly. So this is likely a macro move. I do think this one actually has a good, next, I don't know, like rest of year to come, essentially. It doesn't mean that every day is going to be a fucking uptick, obviously, but here's your high, here's your low, here's your next high, which is a lower high, obviously. Here's your next local low. This is a higher low, of course, and then we took out the prior high. So also even took out this high as well. So that is a monthly reversal right there. By definition, I'd be looking for a long-term continuation to your prior, like, basically like 50 cent to maybe even 60 cent targets long-term. Again, months down the road, but pretty damn good. All right, sirs. All right, sirs. I think that is it for today. I might record another video for Bitcoin later if it's relevant, if it's pertinent. Short-term timeframes look a little bit like they want to swipe the lows yet again, probably back down to about $45,000 if I had to guess. But I wouldn't necessarily call a breakdown just yet, and I don't really feel comfortable using a 4-hour to call a breakdown in this point. Maybe if Bitcoin closes like a 4-hour dildo below 44,500, maybe I call a breakdown. Again, probably $44,000 even is going to be better, but difficult to do on that one. The daily, I think, is a lot more simple. As long as you're above, especially the 200 simple, but even the 55, I do kind of keep the doors open for a potential bear trappy situation. Again, in no way, shape, or form confirmed as long as Bitcoin's below 49,500 especially. And at some point, after this one does swipe the lows, I probably would be looking for a rally back up somewhere around 48 to 49 or so. And then if I start to see some weakness there, that's at the point where I really start to, put on some maybe more long-term short positions. But for right now, just a bit of a range-bound market. I expect that we won't see anything like too amazing today from Bitcoin, whether to the upside or the downside. This is mostly an altcoin day for what it's worth right now. And hopefully that was helpful. I'm going to be signing off now. It's been an absolute pleasure on this lovely Thursday. Yeah, this week's almost over. Holy shit. That went by fast. Whoop, whoop, indeed. Anyways, with that said, Elf is waving in the background. I'm going to be signing off now. Take care. I salute you and hopefully see you very, very soon.
Write it, code it, name it, tweet it, mine it, stack it, live it, dream it, post it, scan it, charge it, send it, do it, and receive it. Trade it, buy it, sell it, store it, run it, list it, first rename it. Crypto logic. Pump it, hack it, lose it, dump it, sell it, ditch it, XR, pitch it, copy, paste it, nudge it, test it, build it, try it, bend it, fork it, hype it, pump it, dump it, rinse, repeat, but quick relocate. Pause it, list it, send it, burn it, pump it, hack it, quick rename it, take it, type it, blend it, send it, swell it.